Hey everybody, welcome to the desk. Everybody, as we get ready for the VIS Challenger Series, this is the start of Group B, and of course, I do have a slight typo here because joining me tonight, it is not Tasty Bacon, it is Sean, Ostito, and Denomine. Sorry about that, Sean. I'm going to get that updated for you right now, as we,
No problem, Dragonborn. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. First time going to be doing a little bit of draft analyses.
Potentially, right. We are going to be doing some fun stuff here, guys. Again, welcome everybody. We are underway, actually the middle of Challengers here for the VIS Challengers of North America. We've had exciting group stages so far, but the group stages end today. So let's get into how we got here and what we have in store for you guys for this awesome production. Let's jump right into it. Taking a look at the bracket here. We're going to start with the winner's bracket because we had exciting matchups and we actually had some pretty surprising upsets. And here to talk with me about it is Denomine. Denomine, you know, we've been looking at these bracket, we've been looking at some of the teams rise through and we've seen some really big surprises this season. And one of the big surprises, of course, has been that, we've seen a lot of mix-ups across the rosters, a brand new NRG roster, Vision Gaming roster, and they've played very well for their seeding, but we've seen some lower seed teams also impress us with, like, the Kardashians, a 12 seed. And Sean, you probably haven't been watching all of the challengers, but when you take a look at the bracket, there's a lot of exciting new teams and new players that have kind of come into the mix here.
Yeah, I agree. We over on the side of Vision Gaming, we have PvP Trinity coming in. Cause is here too. Shaded Talent, excuse me, and DZ coaching for them. I'm excited to see the Kardashians. Some of these guys, I've seen them before. We've seen Drunken Clam before.
Right, yeah, these are players.
Cross. Yeah, Marto, but we got a lot of other names here, especially with NRG. We've got Archaic here, Mixi, Grass, Bradley, of course, Echo Fox. We are potentially going to be seeing them playing tonight. We have Slada, Irwin, Selena Gomez, very familiar names too.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of all-stars on these teams. A lot of new faces with new, different orgs and different teammates as well. When we take a quick look, we're going to drop down to elimination bracket real briefly here, guys. We'll be bringing you more action at the end of this stream, but we'll be bringing you guys that final elimination round match that'll be happening. Nova Challengers, surprisingly, drop down into this group, and they'll be battling it out with teams like Infinity Rebirth. And those are teams historically that have had very good reputation in Challengers, so it is surprising to see them this early on knocked down to the elimination bracket already at the start of week 2. So we'll be getting into that. Let's talk though a little bit about today's matchup. This is our next matchup, of course, and that's Echo Fox versus Vision GG, Vision Gaming VG. We are talking about the rosters here, Sean Ostino, talking about some of the things that we expect to see. And like, when you take a look at Echo Fox, they are the team that won first seed last Challengers, and of course they went to the Regional Challenger Cup. They didn't win it, but they played on stage. They've got a lot of experience, a lot of synergy. Let's talk a little bit about what we expect to see, because Vision Gaming, they are a 9 seed, but they've got a very strong roster here with PvP, with Cause, and Shaded Talent.
Yeah, with Echo Fox, they actually, a good story for them. They actually were first seed, leaving the Challenger Series last time, and they actually competed in the Challengers Cup over at the Summer Unified Championship that just passed. Slada, Irwin, Selena Gomez all went up on stage versus the VGL Challenger, which was Team Queso, and unfortunately, they won one of the games, so unfortunately, they did not come out on top to win that Challengers Cup. But going up against Vision Gaming, I'm excited to actually see the Echo Fox and what they're going to be able to do with Vision Gaming. Of course, I'm a little bit leaning towards Echo Fox coming out on top since they are first seed versus 9th seed for Vision Gaming. But we've seen both these teams go 2-0 for their previous games, for both of their previous games before this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they've been very, very strong across the board here. They've been able to really, I think really impress all of us, specifically Echo Fox. They've had that pedigree. They've been around here for a while. And, when they brought in Selena Gomez last season, it really made a huge difference. And I actually want to highlight him because Selena Gomez, he is our player to watch. He comes into here, you know, very high ranked player, fantastic carry, able to really impress. He's very flexible, has a very huge hero pool as well. Something that he grew over many seasons. Something that he wasn't known for, but is known for now to be able to be versatile, but still has those really strong picks as well. So that's definitely something that we'll be keeping an eye on. One thing I do want to just briefly touch on, though, before we get into this matchup, and we will be getting into the game number 1 in just a second, is we do have, this is very last minute, but we do have a global pedal ban. There is a slight bug that was brought to our attention, so we are working with all the teams to communicate that. It is very last minute, but we've reviewed it. I personally reviewed it. I've seen the videos, but I actually went into game and tested it myself, and there are some issues that we want to further investigate. So that's something to keep in mind. That will change the meta a little bit, Sean. You know, typically, you know, Pedal is great at countering some heroes, and now those heroes won't have to be worried about being prioritized on A side, knowing that you're not going to get a surprise Pedal pick on B side, like a Cruel or a Rhyme. So this is definitely going to change the meta up a little bit. Just for tonight officially, we're going to be reviewing this in more depth until we can get a final ruling from SCMC. But we definitely wanted to update you guys on that, as it is a very, very last minute notification. With that, though, guys, I do want to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get ready for game number 1.
$14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Hey everybody, welcome back as we look to get into the action here. We'll be starting our game number 1 in just a few seconds. Actually, it does look like it just started, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. And of course, we'll be getting into game number 1 draft. This is Echo Fox versus Vision GG.
And interesting ban right off the start here, Dragon. We actually have a Celeste coming off as the first ban, so we've typically seen those double captain bans, and it is going to be a Catherine that gets banned away. But, you know, the Celeste, definitely a hero that's really come into light in these past couple updates. It is very difficult to fight into a Celeste because you can't body block what falls from above. And it is going to be a Blackfeather first pick locked in for the side of Fox.
Yeah, Blackfeather coming out early, and this is a little bit surprising that we do know this is a pick that they could go into the jungle, but they could also prioritize in the lane. We talked about Selena Gomez, you know, expanding his hero pool, and this is a hero that, you know, wouldn't be surprising to see him be able to pull and play as well. Vision Gaming, you know, with this looking like they're hovering on the Glaive. Glaive has been a strong pick for many updates, so, and with the Grace pick, it's not flex, but it is going to be a very strong lane or jungle pick for them. And potentially even going up against Blackfeather. If Blackfeather goes into the lane, you could see Vision Gaming maybe look to try to, if they think that's how it's going to go, take Glaive into the lane.
Yeah, Glaive definitely a really strong pick. Obviously, it is flexible for either the lane or the jungle. And when paired with Grace, that can provide such a aggressive tankiness to your front line. It is going to be an Adagio from Fox here. And I would almost lean towards this being a captain Adagio. I don't really feel like, well, Lyra gets picked up, so it is probably going to be a lane Adagio. I don't really know if I've seen Selena's lane Adagio. Maybe, you know, as you mentioned, definitely something that he's worked on his hero pool a bit. So definitely possible Adagio is a very strong and aggressive pick in that early and mid game. And it looks like we might get a Crystal Idris out of Vision Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, this is, Idris has been very, very popular, and with PvP looking to stay on that, and Kaz taking Glaive to the jungle, I like this going into potentially late. Now, with Selena Gomez on Adagio, this does mean it's going to be Adagio in the lane, and Adagio typically has been a strong flex laner when you have problems dealing with those short-range heroes that do a lot of damage, because it gets a lot of sustain, and it also can counter them fairly well. So I really like this matchup, actually, that Vision Gaming has brought, because they, you know, they're trying to do something unique, but I think Echo Fox just has a more well-rounded draft. So as we get into this game, I'm really excited to see. We haven't seen Selena Gomez on Adagio a whole lot, so this will be a testament to his ability to probably, you know, surprise us here with this pick. I'm really excited. And with that, we are getting into game number 1, everyone, so I'm going to kick it over to our casters, Sean Ostito and Denomine.
Alrighty, Sean, as we get into this game, it is Selena Gomez on the Adagio, but more importantly, we do have to make note that this is a double heal composition with a Black Feather that we have not seen for at least emerge very often for some time. And that at one point was a very, very devastating combination. Sean, how do you think Echo Fox is going to do with it? We mentioned that Selena may be playing a little bit out of comfort here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because we actually, from my conversations with some of the teams in the past, I've actually, usually an all dive comp is, or a kiting comp is what Echo Fox likes to do. But here it looks like it's a little bit of a mix. Selena Gomez is going to be kiting around, doing those heals with the Gift of Fire. Slade is, of course, going to be healing up with those Imperial Sigils, but there's a dive.
Yeah, Selena's taking a lot of damage. The stun comes through. Selena pops the healing flask and is going to make it out. Kaz takes a couple turret shots in return. But overall, kind of a successful gank, you could even say. They didn't get the kill, but that flask is on a 100-second cooldown at this point. So that will not be available to him the next go-around. And obviously the afterburn already back available. Kaz could look to make another rotation to the lane after clearing out his backs. Irwin looking to get his farm, but I think Shaded Talent stole that away. He did. And now it is Fox just trying to push up and get some poke down here on the PvP Trinity. Slada just edging that turret aggro there, not taking any shots. But that's a big wave now that's forced under PvP's turret.
Yeah, this is kind of a scary situation for Vision Gaming because they have that huge wave there. And what we do know about Adagio and Lyra is that they are part of a siege comp usually, but then we do have the Black Feather there, who's more of a diver, who wants to get into that backline, especially once he comes online with his level 6, with his Rose offensive. There's a little bit of aggression coming out from Shaded Talent onto Slada, but it looks like they're going to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, it looks like they should be fine, but who did get that treant? Oh, Irwin gets afterburned in. It looks like Kaz got the treant. Irwin is forced to use his healing flask, and he is now running very deep into the enemy side of the jungle, but Fox is making a good rotation over, and that's going to force Vision Gaming off. And, you know, this has been a game of escape. Selena made it out on the skin of his teeth just a moment ago in the lane, and now Kaz is going to do the same. The healing flask will be coming up for both of them here in just the next couple of seconds. And Irwin and Slada actually both used their flask in that last engagement too, so those are on a sizable cooldown now, and that is something that we have to keep in mind. So far, we've got a pretty even CS advantage in the lane, or well, not really an advantage, pretty even here.
Yeah, and if you look at the net worth as well, Denominate, they're pretty close. They're only about 300 apart in favor of Vision Gaming. It looks like we're going to have to see Vision Gaming doing a lot of work. They're going to have to peel a lot with that glaive, keep Idris healthy. Idris is going to have to dive. He's going to have to get on that Adagio. We know Adagio has limited mobility, and that's going to make him a lot more vulnerable. But once he gets online with that alternating current, then Selena Gomez is going to be much more of a threat in lane.
Well, I'm gotta wonder though. I don't think the Idris is really gonna have to dive because he's probably gonna go that crystal route, as we have the glaive in the jungle who already has that tension bow built. So that is definitely something to keep in mind here. And one real bonus that the side of Vision has, you know, that chakram does so much damage to immobile targets. I'm a little worried about the Adagio taking too much damage because he doesn't really have any way to get out of the way of danger. And then if that big chunk damage comes in, Kaz can come through with the Afterburn Tension Bow proc. It could be a pretty devastating combination, but, you know, again, we talked about Fox being the #1 team last season, so we'll just have to see if they can strut their stuff and show their dominance here, Sean.
Yeah, that's true. It totally slipped my mind that we're going to have Trinity going that mage CP route, and you can already see that he's already picked up that heavy prism, Eclipse prism, so he's going to be working towards the Shatter Glass, it looks like, to get that heavy burst damage. Once that's out, he's going to throw those chakrams down, probably hitting Selena Gomez, and do tons of damage, going forward and having the chakram return as well.
Yeah, absolutely a possibility. That's one of those nice things about the Idris with that divergent path. Can really go either route with quite a bit of effectiveness to different heroes. We, you know, we're at the 5-minute mark. We have a fountain now available on both sides, slated to have it a little bit sooner than Shaded Talent, but overall, still only a couple hundred gold between these teams. I mean, it's super, super even. Slated takes a little bit of damage from PvP Trinity there, but, you know, with not a lot of crystal power behind him yet, he doesn't do a whole lot, especially to the captain. And Selena Gomez actually has a double heavy prism online here, obviously building into that alternating current, but getting some crystal power while he's at it. Now as Fox rotates down and gets their shopping in here, what do you think our second optimal item is going to be for this Adagio?
Well, the Adagio just picked up that alternating current like what we were talking about, and he does have that heavy prism. Looks like he may be going toward, it's still up in the air, he could be going towards that Shatter Glass to get even more burst damage out of his hits, or he could be going towards Broken Myth to stack up that damage. Not really too sure, but we're going to have to see. It looks like we do have Kaz with his Tension Bow proc. That's going to be available, and he's going to do 180 more damage with that when he gets those hits in. Especially with those afterburns, it's going to be pretty good for him to dive into the backline and get onto Selena Gomez this way.
Yeah, absolutely is. Glaive is one of those heroes that we know to just be so aggressive, but an Adagio can do the exact same with that long range, and then obviously with Blackfeather being the one to dive in, going to be able to get the Gift of Fire down easier onto that backline and make Selena Gomez just that much more powerful. But the combination has to be pulled off right, Sean. And so far this has been a pretty passive game. We do have a slight gold lead developed for the side of Fox at this point, but it's nothing that the side of Vision can't come back from. And I'm actually surprised at how slow-paced this game has been. Obviously, it does take time for Idris to come online, but Glaive is really one of those heroes that needs to capitalize in that early and mid-game, and we just haven't been able to see it yet because of the good positioning out of Fox.
No, we haven't. It looks like Kaz, as this Glaive, is going to be working towards maybe a Sorrow Blade coming up next to give even more heavy burst damage once he hits those Tension Bow procs. I actually did want to comment on the 0-0 score for the kills that we're seeing right now. One of the things that 2.8 is known for so far is the lack of healing, the lack of sustain. So that makes a lot of these healing heroes even more prevalent. So we have Shaded Talent on Grace here. We're going to have a lot of burst healing coming out from the backline. And then we have Selena Gomez as Adagio and Slada. They're going to be burst healing a lot as well on the side of Echo Fox. I feel like this lack of healing and sustain has actually made teams more subtle with their rotations, movements, and it makes them, for lack of a better word, I guess, it makes them more hesitant to commit to fights now unless they really know they can win the fights.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful, especially if your healing flask is down, but it is now all three members of Fox here in the lane looking to get this wave pushed up underneath turret, but here comes Kaz and PvP Trinity. Shatterglass and Alternating Current are online. Shaded Talent gets a little bit of poke down on Selena Gomez, but takes a bit of damage himself. And so far, it is just Fox looking to get the poke game out here. PvP Trinity doing his best to clean out this wave so they don't get forced too far underneath turret. Slata is level 6. Arcane Passage is available. But I just, with as far back as Vision Gaming is, it's going to be difficult for them to make a hard engagement here. Good on point comes through on PvP Trinity and drops him low. And will Kaz pay for this afterburn? Oh, it's looking like he's taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Rose Offensive clips the wall from Irwin there. Not quite able to find the kill. Kaz is coming back, letting to get some damage, but the Crystal Sentry is down, and that is a lot of damage now that Vision Gaming is going to be missing out on. They're forced at this point to just back away from the fight because PvP Trinity was not allowed to make it around safely, and now Fox is pushing in the lane.
Yeah, and we actually have Slata holding on to a minion candy there. He just popped it right now, and that's going to help those minions get pushed up further into this turret, and they're just going to keep sieging.
Yeah, but Kaz comes in, a good afterburn on Irwin. The turret is down. Kaz one hit away. Fountain comes through. Irwin and Selena were dropped low as well, but a good Fountain out of Slata is going to get them out of harm's way. And overall, that is now 2 objectives controlled here by Fox. The Crystal Sentry did drop early. PvP Trinity gets absolutely deleted. We talked about the empowered attacks from Adagio can be such a threat, and using the minion wave to get that heal down, 1, 2, 3 shots, and PvP Trinity does drop. And just like that, that's now a first blood bounty on the board for Selena Gomez, as well as that objective. And now they're turning their attention onto the gold mine as well. This game went from incredibly even, back and forth even, to now this should be a pretty sizable gold lead for Fox.
Oh, nice bulwark from Fox, slowing up Shaded Talent, and he wasn't able to dive in. He really wanted to get the last hit with that Benediction. That's what I would have done. I play Grace all the time. And the bulwark, perfect counter to it, really well played. Within the last team fight where PvP Trinity actually went down, we know that as a CP Idris, you're a mage carry. You've got to be able to sit back, do your auto attacks, and poke from the back line. He overextended just a little bit, and he was punished for it. And that's why we saw him go down in that last fight, and now we have a 3,000 gold lead for the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, this Idris doesn't really come online until he gets that broken myth. And we're still a pretty sizable amount of gold away for PvP Trinity there, but you're right. He does need to play that mage role in that back line. His basic attacks do damage, but here we go. Shaded Talent jumping in. Irwin gets absolutely blown up. The Imperial Sigil comes out and heals him back. Fountain is saved by Slata, but it is used by Shaded Talent. And now PvP Trinity just a sliver of health away. Divine Intervention is going to come through, save him. He gets the Elder, or the Treant there in the back, but that is another sentry now dropped by Fox. Irwin not letting up the aggression, comes in and blows up Shaded Talent. However, he will pay for it with his life, and now Selena Gomez might pay for it as well. 2-for-2 trade, but PvP Trinity, the carry, obviously going to be able to get a little bit of an advantage here, being the last one alive. Should actually not be chasing Slata because he will never catch up to Lyra. Should be hopefully rotating up to the lane quickly here so he can try to push that wave in and make Selena Gomez miss out on some of that farm, but instead he's just going to take a little bit of jungle rotation before he makes it up to the lane. I don't know if he's going to be able to get any damage down on the turret at this point, Sean.
I don't think so either, Denominate, but very interesting team fight. We actually had Vision Gaming rotating back into their jungle with their Crystal Sentry. Really good prowess for them to do that, but we just see so much aggression coming out of Echo Fox. They're so confident. This is a former Vainglory 8 team. They're so confident in their rotations and their aggression that they don't care if Vision Gaming is there. They're able to just take out the Crystal Sentry, and overall, even though they lost 2 members in that last team fight, overall it was a win for Echo Fox because we only have 1 life remaining on that Crystal Sentry.
Yeah, definitely, Sean. And, you know, with that being down to 1 life here at the 13-minute mark, that's something that if Fox is able to push out, they'll really have a lot easier time fighting in the jungle. They took a lot of damage while they were distracted by that sentry in that last fight. And I think that's really what gave Vision Gaming the time to really be able to turn around and try to capitalize on that fight, picking up the kills on both carries. Now Shaded Talent comes in. Holy Nova hits 1. Irwin taking a lot of damage. Fountain is forced out as well as the Crucible. And now it is Selena Gomez does get taken down by Kaz here. And just like that, Vision Gaming might have found a little bit of an advantage here. They can try to get this turret down. They easily have the damage to. And now they are pushing Slata and Irwin back in. Arcane Passage is available, but will it be used in time?
Oh!
Not quite enough to get him out. And now Irwin takes a bunch of damage. Unfortunately, the Afterburn was not up for Kaz, so that is not going to be a kill. But this very well might be a second turret with how much damage Vision puts out here. And that is indeed. So now Vision Gaming evening up the gold at 29-5 apiece. Great fight there out of the side of Vision Gaming. What happened, Sean?
I take back everything I say about Vision Gaming to dominate because that was a really good team fight. We actually had Kaz Afterburn in and take advantage of Selena Gomez's lack of mobility as this Adagio. Once he punted him around, there was so much damage that was just raining upon him. We also had PvP Trinity. Look at him. He's come up online now. He's got that alternating current. He's able to throw out those auto attacks much faster. He's able to hit hard with that Shatter Glass and Broken Myth on these chakrams. So once Fox was, started to go down in that fight, and we had Irwin and Slata retreating, there was just no way for them to stop two turrets from going down.
Absolutely were unable to, and now Vision is turning their attention onto the gold miner, but Irwin knows what's going on, and Vision does see him coming in. Oh, Irwin with the steal right before the Kraken comes on the board.
Oh,
those are the kind of plays we really expect to see out of Fox. And a weapon Blackfeather nonetheless. That's not even a crystal on point that was able to steal that one. So excellent timing out of Irwin there. Nudging the gold lead a little bit more in their favor. But as this Idris gets closer and closer to that Eve of Harvest, he's at that point that he really does a lot of damage with both of his basic attacks as well as that Chakram. So definitely a huge, huge power spike for PvP Trinity coming up here. The Sentry is eliminated now by Fox. But it is the side of Vision looking to push into the enemy jungle. Actually, they might just turn their rotation down here to the Kraken now, as Fox did all recall. Oh man, will Fox be able to make it in time? They are taking a lot of time in their side of the jungle. This Kraken is almost finished, and just like that,
Woo!
Vision Gaming is looking absolutely in a golden spot right now. Not quite enough gold to finish that Eve of Harvest, but if he cleans up that jungle camp, oh, he's only 50 gold shy. He might just wait for it. He has half of an infusion left. Oh, the enemy's bottoms are up, so he'll be able to take that. He'll be able to get his... he actually went with a Frostburn instead of an Eve of Harvest.
Yeah.
So going with some more damage and utility as opposed to the sustain. And definitely I can see the purpose in it, Sean.
Yeah, the Frostburn's going to be able to allow him to slow his enemies, kite them a little bit easier, really perhaps reduce the chances of Selena Gomez backing. But this choke point turret is being sieged up here really well. We're going to see if Vision Gaming can take the base.
And a fight breaks out on Vision. Oh man, the Verse of Judgment does not make it down onto the right targets. Irwin gets absolutely blown up. Divine Intervention now out on Kaz. Slata taking a lot of damage, and now it's just Selena Gomez, and he gets absolutely destroyed. The Crystal Idris does so much damage. Now with this Kraken pushing into the base, I think this might actually be Vision Gaming with the upset over Fox.
They just need to split that. Well, they already destroyed one turret, but look, this Kraken is just so healthy, and there's so much damage coming out of Glaive and Idris. Boom! There goes the thing. Shattered.
And just like that, that is a 7-3 victory for Vision Gaming. That's a pretty sizable note to put on your slate that you took down Fox, who was, again, the #1 team at the end of last season. So they're going to take the lead here, 1-0 in this series. Again, this is the single ban. But, to help us round out this game and be getting into game number 2, we're going to head over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Hey, thank you guys so much. That was such an impressive showing by Vision Gaming, and they played their composition so well. I'm sure if Best Chuck was in the chat right now, he would be so triggered by the Frostbird. But that honestly was a last item buy, right? 4th item buy. Let's talk a little bit, though, about how they got to where they were in this game. They were able to win these mid-game team fights, and then by the time... you started to see Echo Fox try to regain some of the control in the jungle. The Kraken was up. They took the Kraken. They pushed the win. Unbelievable play. It looked like Vision Gaming just was so good. One of the things I saw a lot, Day, was their ability to just focus on a target with unison, right? As soon as one of the heroes from Echo Fox got out of range, they'd all move to the next target that was within range, whether it was a Lyra or whatnot. And so that really was a huge factor. This team, Vision specifically, just looked like they were playing with so much confidence and so much synergy in this game.
Yeah, they absolutely looked amazing. And again, the Idris just functioned so well into heroes that can't get out of the way of those chakrams. And we saw it in that last fight. Selena Gomez did do a good job staying around the edge of the fight. But as Blackfeather and Lyra came in, they both came right into a double passage of that chakram. And then when the attention was turned on to Selena Gomez, those Broken Myth stacks already had a chance to ramp up. And he got literally deleted off the map in just a matter of a second by the Tension Bow, Sorrowblade, Glaive, as well as the Broken Myth stacked PvP Trinity on this Idris. So, you know, pretty exciting game so far. You know, I couldn't have asked for a better game coming right out of the gate here for game number 1. So we should be getting ready to get into game number 2, though, Dragon. And, you know, do you have any thoughts on what Fox can do now that they'll be on the B side?
Well, I will say the Grace play that came out of Vision was fantastic. I think that, you know, when you're looking at having the healers, I mean, Lyra's a great healer, and they were able to split them. But Grace has so much more to her kit that gives her the potential to win fights, right? She's got that engage potential, and she's got the ability to stun you in a way that I think the you know, Echo Fox just didn't have. So I'm really excited to see. Vision Gaming came in really hot. They really dominated that mid game to the end. It didn't seem like once they started to win those team fights there was any turning back. And Echo Fox really did struggle. The other thing too is, you know, Glaive was such a critical force in that game. If you're Echo Fox on B-side, you've got to think about the Glaive pick. You don't want to give that over. There's, you know, it's so hard to go up against Glaive once he gets kind of snowballed going. I mean, he takes so much damage, and he really is kind of tanky for the jungle hero, for the amount of damage that he puts out.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And, you know, even with only the 2 offensive items, the Glaive was able to come in and get the burst down. And that's really what we needed with the Crystal Idris, because those chakrams do so much burst as well. It was literally forcing a fountain and an Imperial Sigil out of Slata within a matter of a second. And from there, it was Fox playing on the back foot just because of the way that Vision was able to pull those fights together. Looked maybe like, you know, I think Selena, again, maybe a little bit out of his comfort zone. So I think that is something that we have to take into a little bit of consideration, that he didn't play. But you know, that's part of the game. You know, that is what it is. So, you know, what comes with expanding your hero pool is taking yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, but I definitely think it impacted the side of Fox there.
Right. All right. Well, we're jumping into game number 2 here. Vision Gaming up 1. Blackfeather is going to be that ban first. Of course, Catherine is, and Grace first pick by Vision Gaming again. And I'm a little surprised that Echo Fox maybe did think about giving over to Catherine instead, but I think that it makes sense to. And Vision Gaming with the Blackfeather ban, it was almost like a throwaway ban. They wanted that Grace pick.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And, you know, realistically, the Blackfeather, Irwin did a great job on that hero last game, but he does have the Celeste now, and this is a hero that we know him for. So, you know, he's really been known for the Scarf in the Celeste jungle, those mages in the jungle that are really game-changing, and that's just not something that a weapon Blackfeather is. So I really got to lean on this hopefully going to Irwin, sticking to their comfort. It is now a Glaive picked up by Fox, and that could be flexed into any of the 3 positions, so we could really see either of these heroes go anywhere at this point, with the exception of maybe at Captain Celeste. But
maybe. I think, as you know, Vision Gaming, they actually have a lot of flexibility here, what they want to do as far as engage. I think Echo Fox had to take the Glaive here, but it's a strong pick anyways. Kaz gonna go with this Idris pick again. I like it. If you know, we've seen a lot of strong Idris play from a lot of these top teams recently, and it's something that I think a lot of teams should probably start prioritizing. I'm actually surprised. So I'm surprised Echo Fox baited into the Catherine ban, because they could have left both Grace and Catherine open, and then maybe like they could have gone with an Idris ban. That would have been more of a priority. You're gonna see Cruel here on A side, and you know, we talk about, you know, there is a little bit of prioritization to make sure that you can deal with the Cruel now that Petal is global ban.
I do think Celeste and Glaive are good into Krull, in all honesty. If Krull's allowed to get onto the backline, then it's very difficult for Celeste to get a lot done. But with a Glaive and with the Lance, it should be a little bit easier to keep Krull back. The interesting trade to me here is really the Crystal Idris versus the Crystal Celeste that will be going on to Selena Gomez. So, you know, again, something we're not used to seeing him on, but it is a powerful pick right now. So definitely come from this. So, you know, what it really comes down to is who, you know, how the engagement starts. If Celeste is allowed to get some zoning heliogenesis down first, she should have the edge. But if Vision's able to collapse onto Fox very early on in the fight, Crystal Idris can absolutely tear apart a Celeste with the sheer amount of damage that he does.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Vision Gaming can make it 2 games as we jump into game number 2. This is huge. Echo Fox needs this win to get back into the series. I'm going to kick it over to my caster, Sean Astino and Denomine. Take it away.
Alrighty, Sean. Off the back of a very exciting first game, we do now have Vision Gaming on the A side with a very intimidating Krull, Grace, and Idris pickup. And I don't know about you, Sean, but I wouldn't want to run into that in ranked. But Selena Gomez, definitely a hero that we know for his mechanical skills. Definitely maybe a little on the inconsistent side. So I think if Selena is able to bring his A game here and show us that he's been working on this Celeste, this still could be Fox in this game.
Yeah, it still could be Fox in this game. I do want to point out that we actually see a Dragon Blood contract on Slada, so they might be looking for some early aggression here. And there it goes.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Shaded Talent gets a little bit of damage down and takes some in return. And now it is Irwin forced back because Kaz is trying to get his Shadows and Power Me online. There it is, but the Afterburner is up at the same time. That will be Irwin making it out safely, but his jungle may be compromised if Vision Gaming turns around. They are going to leave and try to collapse onto Celeste, but it is Slada making a very aggressive rotation to the Vision Gaming backs. And that's really going to keep Krull in an uncomfortable position if he's not able to get the farm to get online like he needs. Irwin trading a little bit of damage with Shaded Talent in the other side of the jungle. Dropping Shaded Talent, really showing this Grace and how aggressive it can be in the early game. She does an incredible amount of base damage as well as has a lot of movement speed. A couple nerfs in the past about her movement speed, but still very, very fast, especially with the boots already bought. And actually picks up 3 CS out of the enemy jungle for himself.
Yeah, good for Vision Gaming to deny some of that early CS farming gold experience to Echo Fox. It's interesting how I just said that they had the Dragon Blood contract, so I was looking for early aggression to be coming out of Echo Fox, but we have some counter aggression out of Vision Gaming. Look, it still continues.
Gythian Wall lands on Kaz. The Divine or the Holy Nova comes through, not quite landing. Slada has taken a lot of damage, but you know, obviously he is the captain. He has that Gythian Wall available. He will be safe, but now it is Kaz coming in. He does get locked up. He's taking a lot of damage, but he is going to use those Shadows and Power Me to get out of harm's way, as Selena was turning his attention down. And PvP currently not having shopped yet, it's not in a condition for the team of Vision to try to pick a fight. And now it is the side of Fox trying to push into Vision Gaming's jungle here. They are, however, a little bit too late. Oh, they're going to find Kaz. Selena has turned his attention off. Kaz did secure that CS, and now he's turning his attention onto Irwin and Slada. And just like that, they will return to their own halves of the jungle. Irwin going to opt for the Elder Treant here instead. And that had some pretty sizable bounties added to it. So up from the like 60 that it was before, we now get 114, as well as the healing into Irwin's pocket. And that is absolutely huge here in this early game shot.
Yeah, that's huge. That Elder Treant is always a point of contention. We've seen it less so as a point of contention in recent, I guess, recent weeks in Vainglory, whether it be in VIS or the VG8. But yeah, interesting number, 114 as opposed to 120. It's almost 100% more gold than it was before, but not quite. But we do see some, a lot of, looks like Kaz is going to be going for that tension bow. On this Krull, and he's waiting there in the bush, spotted out by Slada.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the Celeste is those Helios do give you vision into the bush when needed, and just like that, it did come through there. We everybody level 4 except for Selena Gomez right now, so have a little bit of a level advantage there. Obviously, that will put the Solar Storm online a little bit sooner than anybody else will have their ultimate. PvP Trinity has now shopped. Sean, but does not quite have enough crystal power to get that divergent path online.
No, he doesn't. He's gonna need if he sells one of his items, like for that healing flask, for example, he could get a crystal bit and put himself just over that hump to get that CP Idris path unlocked. But he's probably just gonna opt for continuing to the Frostburn, or he could go to the Shatterglass. But we do see the Frostburn picked up for Selena Gomez. That's gonna allow for some really good kiting ability.
Yeah, absolutely is, as well as can help trap the enemy into a dangerous position with that slow. And we know how effective that slow can be, especially when going against a Krull who wants to be in your face. But now it is Fox rotating down, Shaded Talent and Kaz are down here. And now PvP Trinity looking to rotate down as well. 1,400 gold in his pocket is likely going to be a Shatterglass. And there it is.
And there it is. Yeah, so that's going to give this Idris, a PvP Trinity's Idris, a lot more burst damage coming out, especially with those chakrams. We know when the chakram goes out, it's pretty much like a boomerang, you know, it's going to come out, and it's going to return, it's going to hit potentially, especially a Celeste who's not as mobile as other heroes, it's going to hit her on the return as well. We do see Irwin picking up that tension bow, so with this glaive, he's going to be able to do some work, reposition some of the members of Vision Gaming, like Kaz, for example. If Kaz is coming in diving, which we know a Cruel wants to do, we could have Irwin come out with an afterburn, push him away, punt him away.
Absolutely can, and we got to look over at Selena Gomez as he is approaching the level 8 mark on Celeste. And we know what a huge power spike those overdriven Heliogenesis are for Celeste. Getting those additional 2 range really helps the zoning potential, especially against a Krull, who's going to want to try to jump in a bush. He's going to try to get his shadows and power me up. And if Celeste is poking that bush out, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for Krull to make a safe engagement. But it is Vision looking to get some damage down on this turret. A good chunk comes through, but PvP Trinity will make it out safely, hardly taking any damage in return. Overall, you know, these games have been pretty slow-paced as far as the fighting goes, Sean.
Yeah, it has been. We're still sitting here at 0-0 at 6 minutes, 50 seconds in. The gold's almost even. It's about 500 in favor of Echo Fox, and there's a little bit of an engage here, a little bit of aggression from the side of Vision Gaming.
Yeah, Fox does find a good Heliogenesis down onto Shaded Talent and PvP Trinity, though. It's going to force them back, and just like that, it's both teams going back to their respective jungle rotations. It is going to be PvP Trinity and Kaz splitting ambience in the back here, trying to get Krull to level 8, get the Spectral Smite overdriven, as well as try to get the Chakrams overdriven for PvP Trinity, who's sitting on 2,000 gold and actually returning to the lane at this point, Sean. I'm not sure why he didn't take the chance to shop. There was no lane pressure coming out, but
well,
there is now.
Yeah, there's lane pressure. There might be communication between the Vision Gaming members, you know, saying, hey, let's go, let's move now. But I still think he should go back and shop, but looks, there's the aggression in the mustache bush.
Yeah, a little bit. Irwin does get some good damage down onto Shaded Talent, and now Selena Gomez looking to get a couple return hits on the turret for Fox as well. Those zoning Heliogenesis are now coming out, and we see how far Kaz has to play back. And, you know, again, when those supernovas come out, Kaz is forced back even further. And this is one of the reasons I really like Celeste into Krull, because you can make it really difficult for Krull to make that safe engagement, especially when you have a Lance and a Glaive who are going to just bounce Krull around like a ping pong ball if he tries to get on Celeste.
Oh yeah, the Githian walls coming out of Lance are going to be able to push him around, stun him up potentially if they're in those corridors. We know that Lance likes to fight in those tight corridors. I actually wanted to talk about the matchup between Selena Gomez on this Celeste and PvP Trinity on Idris. Even though they both have 9 range, with the Chakrams being overdriven here for this Idris, and the Celeste having her overdriven Heliogenesis, they're still not. The Chakrams can't compete. Oh, we have an immense gold payout.
We do, and Irwin takes a lot of damage. Fountain is still on the board for Slata, and it is a kill for Fox onto that Krull. And now as Shaded Talent gets rooted up, a good Githian wall coming out of Slata will stun up that Holy Nova, and that is going to be PvP Trinity now looking to get out of here. The Goldmine payout did go over to the side of Vision, but he's trying to get the whole jungle as well. And he also has to be wary of Celeste pushing in on this turret. That's a pretty sizable wave, and Celeste absolutely deletes turrets. And just like that, we now have a turret advantage for Fox, showing some signs of life in game number 2 here.
Yeah, showing some signs of life. We're in the mid game right now, so I wouldn't count Vision Gaming out yet. We saw in game 1 how they were able to capitalize on some of the mistakes and hesitation coming out of Echo Fox and just push back really hard. They could potentially do that here. There's only 500 gold in the favor of Echo Fox at the moment, but if Selena Gomez just continues to spam out these Heliogenesis like he's been doing, we're going to see some good counters to Cruel and the Idris as well.
Yeah, and I do want to make a little bit of a note on what Jude mentioned earlier with the range of the Chakram and the Heliogenesis being very, very similar. The big difference here to me is, Sean, is obviously the cooldown on those Heliogenesis is significantly lower, as well as the zoning potential you get out of it. So I think that does make Celeste a little bit more deadly if the fight is not heavily engaged on by Vision Gaming. Just like that, Fox is now back here in the lane, finding that good poke damage. The Broken Myth not online yet, but the Frostburn, Eve of Harvest, and Clockwork are. PvP Trinity about 1,000 gold shy, 1,100 gold shy of that Broken Myth of his own as well. But Shaded Talent does now have the Echo online for that double Divine Intervention. It's actually been online for, about 2 minutes now, but definitely has a pretty sizable effect in these fights.
It does. We're gonna see Shaded Talent throwing down those Divine Interventions on either PvP Trinity or Cause should they get substantially messed up in these team fights. But yeah, I was looking at the cooldown thanks to that Clockwork out of Selena Gomez, and these are just 1 second Heliogenesis that are being spammed all over the lane and throughout the jungle as well.
Yeah, it definitely is one of the reasons that Krull is having such a difficult time making the engagements that he needs to. He needs to be able to get onto that back line and start getting those stacks onto Selena to reduce that team-wide damage that can come out. And because Selena is just constantly throwing... I mean, look at the Helios here. The zoning is absolutely beautiful, but now it is Kaz in a little bit too far here, not quite to find the engagement that he needs. Slata doing a good job keeping him back. There's been no clean sight for Kaz to get it from Hell's Heart down, but now PvP Trinity is coming in. Kaz has the Shadows and Power Meet up, but he just can't get the right angle. PvP Trinity taking a lot of damage, Slata taking a lot of damage. There comes the Afterburn. Kaz is getting pushed back a little bit by Selena, but Slata has to be very, very careful here. Selena Gomez 1 hit away. Not quite going to be able to find the kill. Idris was able to come in and get a couple of those crystal basic attacks down, and now it is going to be Vision Gaming turning their attention onto this turret. The Chakram hits Irwin as well. Really, really good use of that Chakram there. Gets damage down onto the turret, takes down the turret, chunks Irwin down to a point that he can't continue to fight. And just like that, Vision is now going to turn their attention onto this gold mine again, but here comes Echo Fox. And will they be able to get a steal or at least contest it here? PvP Trinity is rooted up, but Slata gets absolutely deleted. PvP Trinity, good use of the Shimmer Strike, is going to get out. The Chakram comes through. There's a kill onto Celeste. There's a kill onto Glaive. And next thing you know, this is now a gold mine and maybe an additional turret for the side of Vision as this double Ace Wave is marching down the lane.
Oh my goodness. That fight was drawn out for so long. And you know, it would have been really great if PvP Trinity actually had a Broken Myth on him, because he would have been doing substantially more damage and he could have ended that a little bit quicker. But just because we have this Protect the Carry comp pretty much coming out of Echo Fox, if Selena Gomez isn't getting those Heliogenesis down with the Supernovas and deleting the members of Vision Gaming, then we're going to have fights that keep happening like this. Slata keeps peeling with those Githian walls. Irwin keeps peeling with those Afterburns. I saw a few of those in that team fight, peeling Cause off, but because they weren't able to take anybody out, the fight kept going on. Eventually, they backed up into the Tri-Bush of the side of Echo Fox, and they were just too close. Once they got too close, we had the potential for Holy Novas coming out of Shaded Talent. Cause able to get down some weakness stacks and reduce the damage coming out of Selena Gomez.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, PvP Trinity has done a great job on this Idris in the past 2 games. It is a very, very fun hero to play. He's actually opted not to go for the Broken Myth. He does now have the Frostburn, which is helping him get to that backline. He's able to slow Selena up and get into a position where he's able to get a lot of damage down. And, you know, we just unfortunately haven't been able to see the peel that we need to out of Fox. Celeste isn't able to live long enough in these fights. Broken Myth not quite online, sitting about 900 gold shy here for Selena. as PvP Trinity does now pick up some piercing shard action and a infusion. Yeah, he's going for that broken myth, but he is quite a ways away from it still. You know, about 1,800 gold shy for PvP Trinity. Shaded Talent has everything as his activatables available, as well as Slata has now the Echo for that Githian wall. Oh, and Slata comes in. Kaz returning a lot of damage from Hell's Heart onto Slata. Will they be able to find the kill? They're forced back. Slata still has the fountain. There it goes. It is popped. But it is also a dead Lance. And now as Vision Gaming looks to keep the aggression up, they're just going to turn their attention onto the Sentry. Only one life now remaining. And Irwin and Selena have been forced out of this fight as the Kraken is now on the board. And that is not a situation you want to be in. You definitely don't want to be at a 15-minute disadvantage of one hero with a team that is so good at taking Kraken. This Crystal Idris actually does a lot of objective damage.
Yeah, and the worst time that you can lose a team fight is when the Kraken's about to spawn, and there she goes over to Vision Gaming. They just got to play it slow and low now for the remainder of the game, and we're already down to the choke point turret here, so they could potentially break the base of Echo Fox, and if they continue to play it the way they have been, Vision Gaming is going to take this series.
Yeah, they definitely could. It is looking good for them. That choke point turret is still up, and Celeste is actually really good at taking the Kraken, getting a lot of damage down to it. But so far that damage has not been focused. And here we go. Shaded Talent comes in. From Hell's Heart does get blocked. Irwin takes a lot of damage on his own there in that front line. And now it is Vision turning their attention onto that turret. And it is dropping very, very quickly, Sean. Crystal Sentry is alive. Only one life remaining out of them. Interested to see if Vision turns their attention back, as Fox is very healthy in their side of the base. They are going to turn back now. Very likely clean up the rest of this jungle, clean up the Crystal Sentry. That objective will now be down, and we have a pretty sizable advantage now for the side of Vision Gaming. If they're able to clean up an ace, they don't need a Kraken at this point. They can just push in and end the game.
Yeah, this is feeling a little bit like deja vu here, Denomine. We have we had the early game maybe going over to Echo Fox. Now we have the mid game to late game being aggressed and pushed by Vision Gaming. This is really a substantial upset if Echo Fox loses this. What I feel like they need to do is they just got to keep up with their Vision game here. We see a lot of Vision coming out from the side of Vision Gaming. I wonder if that's where they got their name.
It very well could be, and this would be a pretty sizable upset. This is the #1 seed Echo Fox playing on the back foot in game number 2 now against Vision Gaming, the #9 seed. If Vision Gaming is able to find one clean fight, they can end this game with no Kraken. This is not a comfortable position for Fox to be in here. Shaded Talent does get into the backline, but is forced out. Slata has taken a lot of damage in return now as well. The Broken Myth is online for Selena Gomez and for PvP Trinity. This is going to be about who can build up those stacks, but also we do have to look at the infusions now on the side of Fox. Glaive and Celeste infusion are burning out, while Kaz and PvP Trinity have a pretty sizably healthy as far as the infusion life goes. Vision popped there in the lane. It is now Fox rotating down. Celeste reinfuses, but Glaive does not quite have the same goal. Oh, he has an infusion in his pocket. Never mind. So Glaive does have an infusion ready to pop as well. But Irwin is taking a lot of damage from Hell's Heart is out, and it lands onto Celeste. Chakra comes through, and that is a dead Selena Gomez. And now it is Irwin and Slata on the run. If they're able to get a kill here, the Kraken is on the board. It's not quite an ace, but it might be just what Vision Gaming needs. It is now only Irwin alive, and Vision Gaming can just look to push in the turret here. They have a sizable amount of damage, and one of the turrets is already about half health. I think Selena and Slata are going to be up before they're able to finish it, unless they can find an ace onto Irwin, and not quite. Turret goes down. That is going to accelerate the death timer. Selena Gomez is coming up. Vision Gaming is dropping that turret very, very low, though, and I think that might be Vision Gaming with a 2-0 victory over Echo Fox. That is not a position that you would like to be in if you are Fox right now. They will be dropping down into the losers bracket to face off against Nova Challengers, the 8 seed. That is, you know, I gotta be pretty proud of Vision Gaming here, Sean.
I agree with you, Denomine. What an upset coming out of Vision Gaming. This is the first time I've seen these two teams face each other. And wow, Echo Fox, the #1 seed, going down to #9. Once Celeste was down, we saw that last from Hell's Heart just stun up Selena Gomez. And then he was deleted quickly after. Slada and Irwin mispositioned, they split up, and they were easily taken out by the side of Vision Gaming. What a game. I'm really excited for this, and I'm excited to see where Vision Gaming goes in the future.
Yeah, definitely exciting for Vision Gaming, but we'll be heading over to the desk with Dragonborn, who will be helping us recap that amazing gameplay out of Vision Gaming, and also get us ready to get into our next series. So, Dragonborn. Maybe we're not ready for Dragonborn. Maybe Dragonborn's trolling me right now.
No, we're ready. Sorry about that. I was muted. Thanks to Domine. That was a very exciting series, and I got to be honest, none of us were expecting it to probably be that one-sided in favor of Vision. Game number 2 was even more dominant for them, and all on the back of that Idris play. We talked about it, PvP Trinity. I mean, he loves to play this, and we mentioned during the draft they got baited into the Catherine ban instead of maybe looking at the Idris ban, and they were able to get the Idris pick even after they had first picked the Grace. So it just seems like Vision Gaming got the draft they wanted both games in a row. The Cruel pick, it didn't look as strong early, but it was one of those picks that comes on line much later in the game, and just Glaive was unable to handle what was coming out of Kaz on that Cruel. It was really impressive stuff, and overall the whole game just felt like Vision Gaming knew what they wanted to do, and they were executing on their game plan. So congratulations to them. They are qualified for the playoffs, our first team to be qualified actually this season, so congratulations to Vision Gaming. Echo Fox is an out of it day. I mean, of course, they're going to be playing on later on this afternoon in the elimination round for a shot at the playoffs as well.
Yeah, they're definitely in a spot that they can still come back in this tournament. And they will, like I said earlier, they will be playing against Nova Challengers. So, that is definitely, a little bit less known team. It is obviously the Nova organization, their Challengers team. They, I can't remember what roster it was they picked up, Dragon, for the life of me. I can't remember what their old name was. But
I think it was the...
that should be the team with Dallas B, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Infinity Rebirth, sorry, they picked up, let me take a look at the Nova Challengers. Yeah,
so that's Plot, Invulnerable, Dallas B23, Fatal, and Eddie Al. So definitely a team that, I would have put on par with Vision until I watched that performance come out of PvP Trinity on that Idris. I was really, really impressed. We knew him for the Glaive last season around, had those great Glaive performances, and obviously transitioning pretty well into that Crystal Lane meta as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break, everybody, though, and when we get back, we'll be getting into our second series of the night, so make sure you guys don't leave. We'll be right back after the break.
$14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Welcome back, everybody, and sorry for the longer delay. We are here back at the VIS desk getting ready to get to our second series for the night as we head into week number 2 for Group A stages. This is the end of Group A stages before we start figuring out who will be qualified for the playoffs, so it's pretty exciting for all these teams. There's a lot of matches to be played, and of course, we'll be updating you throughout the night on the results of all those matches. Our second series of the night, though, guys, this is one that's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. It is, of course, NRG going up against the Kardashians, and although the name of the team might be new, the players that play for it should not be, especially if you've been following the competitive seed here in Challengers for some time. I mean, Denominate, we've been looking at a lot of these rising talent teams, and, you take a look at the Kardashians, they've made some upsets, they've been playing very well. Do they have what it takes, though, to go up against this really packed roster here on NRG?
It's definitely going to be close, Dragon. I don't think it's anything that we can underestimate NRG. Obviously, we have some pretty good players returning to their roster as well, so that's something that has to be taken into note. But I don't really think you can underestimate the Kardashians either, as much as I hate to say anything of the sort.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Archaic play at a really high level. He's a fantastic jungler, and in the challenger setting, you have to imagine he's probably a top-tier jungler for this league. I mean, there's going to be very few that have had the experience that he's had. Mixi, he has a lot of knowledge, a lot of game knowledge, and Bradley's been one of those supports that's been consistent here in Challengers as well. He wasn't NRG. He made it to the Vainglory 8, so NRG's got a really deep roster. We come over to the Kardashians, and, a lot of good players, but we haven't really seen much of these guys make it to anywhere deep into the Challengers for some time. I mean, Drunken Clam used to be on, a Nemesis roster way, way back in the day, but, Marto has not been able to find success here in Challengers for some time. Neither has really Stormy Cross.
Yeah, definitely not, Dragon. And, it's going to be interesting to see them going forward. I think these teams are going to be pretty closely matched. I do want to lean a bit on the side of NRG, obviously, with Mixi and Archaic and Bradley. That is no roster you can take lightly whatsoever. And
it really
all just
isn't.
Come down to how they play it.
I know. The player I want to focus on, I mentioned him earlier, it is Archaic from NRG. This guy, and you could talk a little bit more about this Denominate. This guy has been an absolute powerhouse in the jungle, being able to go toe-to-toe with junglers like T-Tigers at times. And coming down here into Challengers, this is something that, could really be painful for some of these other teams to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely could, and I think that's something you have to take into consideration is that Archaic does have a lot of training at the top. One of the, downfalls I would want to say is his best success has been on, heroes like the Kashka, the really aggressive crystal junglers. He hasn't really had a whole lot of experience on the, the weapon jungle, protect the crystal carry kind of play style that's been so popularized here as of late. Did I lose a Dragon? Or did it get really quiet?
Yeah, so no, sorry about that. So we are jumping into the draft. Let's get right into it as game number 1 of this best of 3 series unfolds.
Yeah, game number 1 coming through. It's a Kestrel and a Catherine off the table very, very quickly here. Obviously not wanting to let those get over. And it is going to lead to a Grace first pick for the side of NRG. And that is a very quick answer back from the Kardashians, trying to get that glaive on the table, as well as the Idris. So this is likely going to be that Crystal Idris that we've seen really bring the pain.
Yeah, this has been probably one of the top pick heroes we've seen, even in Vainglory 8. Some of these carries just have really become dominant on this hero, and of course in Challengers, if you can play it well, you could really do a lot of damage into your opponent. Celeste is going to come out for Mixi. We've seen him play a lot of Celeste over the last couple seasons. This is something he's very confident with, but we just saw Idris into Celeste in the last series. It didn't go so well for the Celeste.
It definitely did not go very well for the Celeste, but this is Mixi here, and he has quite a bit of experience on those crystal laners as the past. So I do think that is a little bit of a saving grace here for them. The Black Feather is picked for NRG, so that is something we'll have to keep an eye on.
Right.
But oh, Stormy Cross getting on that Kroll. So you have a Kroll, Glaive, and a CP Idris coming out of the Kardashians here. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and Last Bit Cruel is something we really don't see all too often. And paired with the Glaive, support Glaive, that's actually a flex pick I love to see because it still gives you a lot of crowd control, which is what you want to see come out of your support, and a lot of engage, too. So it's going into a gray, so it's going to have to be very careful. The only thing I'd worry about with the Cruel is those Holy Novas. They are really good at deterring Cruel from getting on his target, and if they can keep Mixi alive, Celeste will rack up a lot of damage.
Yeah, Celeste absolutely can, but, it's just have to see how the game gets played out, Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that, though, I am going to kick it over to you and, of course, Sean Ostino to get us into this exciting series here in game number 1.
Alrighty, Sean, as we get into the fold here, Black Feather for Archaic Grace, obviously going to be going on to Bradley, and Mixi picking up the Celeste. That's going to be absolutely huge for this lineup, but we've seen the amount of threat that a Crystal Idris can bring, so that is definitely something to look forward to here in this game. What do we expect to see?
I think we're going to see a lot of early aggression, and it looks like we have Marto just afterburn away. He was in a 1v3 situation over there. It wasn't looking too good for him, but I expect to see a lot of damage coming out of the Celeste as usual. We're going to... I want Mixi to throw down those Helios and do some Supernovas. Of course, we're going to see Archaic diving behind enemy lines to probably smack up Drunken Clam there on this Idris. I expect it to be a CP Idris there, and I think NRG has a good chance of taking this game.
I think both of these rosters have their ups and downs. Obviously, the Crystal Idris is something that we've just seen so many teams come through and absolutely dominate with, and that is definitely something we're going to have to look forward to here. Obviously, with the Captain Glaive this time around, that is something a little bit different that, we haven't really seen a whole lot of people pull it off. But when someone does, they definitely do a good job with it. Meanwhile, down in the jungle here is a little bit of a fight over that Elder Treant. I did not quite see who it went to. It looks like it probably went to Archaic, though.
Yeah, he had that healing underneath him, so it probably went to him. Marto was not able to really steal that away. But yeah, the Captain Glaive, unfortunately, he's not in the King Glaive skin. Otherwise, having that crown over his head would be fitting. But yeah, what's good about Captain Glaive is we already have Glaive with a really good base health. So him going for these more tankier builds and getting Crucible, War Treads, more of those health items to just buff him up is going to help him to maintain his presence in the battles and reposition some of the team members of NRG with his afterburns.
Yeah, absolutely can. And it is going to be interesting as Marto is taking a lot of damage here. Afterburn's going to get him out, but now Stormy Cross is on that front line looking to avoid some of this damage. Oh, man. He does get out, but it is now Marto looking to maybe come over and defend this Treant. Archaic is going to secure it, though. So, overall, we have a very, very minor gold lead for the side of NRG right now. A couple hundred. Stormy Cross is going to secure that farm and now work his way further into the back. But Mixi is going to take the opportunity to rotate over as Archaic is making a aggressive rotation of his own. Now chasing Marto, and Drunken Clam looking to come over and try to find some damage on Archaic. He's not going to be able to. And now Archaic might even be able to find the entire back rotation. And Stormy Cross is going to pay for this with his life, most likely. Oh, the good heal coming out onto Mixi. Not quite enough.
Not enough. The Spectral Smite coming out was not quite a surprise, but allowed him to sustain a little bit longer in that battle. But we did see Archaic being very aggressive, and he's still there in the jungle of the Kardashians, just taking away those fronts there. But he gets punched away by Marto.
Yes, he does. That's one of the nice things about that glaive with the afterburn, especially if he builds into some cooldown here as the game gets further on. It is going to provide a bit more peel or a bit more lockdown depending on how it is used. So that is definitely something huge to keep their eye on as Archaic is dropping very low in his jungle. He does secure that Treant, so he should be able to heal up fine. It is now a Eve of Harvest and a Fountain online for the side of NRG. And Drunken Clam will likely be looking to go and get his Shatterglass here very shortly.
Yeah, if he gets that Shattered Glass, it's going to give him a lot more burst damage coming out from this CP address. It's going to take that Mage CP path. He's already doing a lot of damage there. He's chipping away at Bradley's health. We do see, yeah, that Fountain on Bradley. If Bradley does end up going the Echo route with this Grace, then it would be, I would actually be really interested if Marto picked up a Null Wave Gauntlet, so we can get rid of some of those activatables. The Fountain, the Echo could, if having those off and not available for the side of NRG during some of these important team fights mid to late game, could be one of the win conditions for the Kardashians.
It definitely could, and we do have a little bit of fight breaking out here. The good, oh my goodness, that Solar Storm chunks Stormy Cross and Drunken Clam down, and now NRG chasing down. Will they be able to find a kill? Stormy Cross gets the barrier from the Deadsman's Rush. He does have that Spectral Smite available as well as From Hell's Heart. But one key thing about the interaction here is Archaic, if he uses his Rose Offensive properly, he can actually intercept that From Hell's Heart for Mixi without getting stunned up himself.
Yeah, that would be really...
Oh no, Stormy Cross getting stunned up underneath the turret. He does get dropped. Kill number 2 now going over to NRG. Stormy going in just a little bit too far.
Stormy, what are you doing? Cruel is not a high health pool hero. He does have a pretty lower health pool, but the thing is he can sustain. Once he gets onto a target, he can just keep stealing away their life and getting doing damage and getting those stacks up. We did see that mid-Treant actually stolen away by Archaic, and he's just doing some work here, denying CS, jungle farm, and gold to the side of the Kardashians.
Yeah, and the first turret actually gets dropped for the side of the Kardashians, making a good opportunity off the back of a bad slow rotation. Mixi now taking a lot of damage. Stun does come through. It is Stormy Cross that gets deleted, and now Marto is on the run. Afterburn is down. Drunken Clam still very, very healthy, but has to be very careful about this engagement. Fortunately for him, Celeste is very low in health and energy. If Mixi gets hit with the wrong edge of a Chakram, it could be very, very bad for the side of NRG. But that is a turret traded, and now Mixi very, very low. Double Divine Intervention coming through, and oh, just the one Divine Intervention. The other one was the Fountain. My apologies there. But that is going to keep Mixi alive. Drunken Clam does get annihilated. He has the Shatterglass and now a Heavy Prism, but oh no, Archaic! Oh, a root actually allows him to secure the farm, so that was EU Treant if I've ever seen one. Stormy Cross does pick up the kill there. Well, Marto picks up the kill. Stormy Cross picks up a assist, but now he's going to turn his attention onto the gold miner, but energy is here. Mixi is low on energy. This is a pretty risky call for the side of the Kardashians here. Frostburn now online for the Celeste. Will they be able to pull this off?
Yeah, this is going to be highly contested over here. We see NRG is two. Oh, there's a punt right there.
There it goes, and the gold payout does go out to Stormy Cross. They also find a kill onto Mixi. So that is, you know, this game's been pretty back and forth so far. Despite a 3-kill lead for the side of NRG, we actually have a gold lead for the side of the Kardashians because of that gold mine. 1 turret for 1 turret. As now they look to push this wave up and maybe get some good chunk damage, if not a whole turret. But Bradley brilliantly pulls away that minion wave from the turret, keeping the health barrier active. And now it is the Kardashians forced out again by NRG.
Yeah, I wonder if the Kardashians are going to be able to go to 10 seasons, much like their counterparts on the show. Because this has been quite a back and forth game, and it really is throwing up a question mark for me to see if the Kardashians are going to be able to take this game away from NRG. We know that NRG, we got Mixi, Archaic here. They're really big names, as well as Bradley. You know, they're experienced players that we've seen in Vainglory before, as well as in the Vainglory 8. We do see a tension bow on Stormy Cross there. It's getting a lot of burst damage down coming out of this Cruel. We see an alternating current as well as that Shattered Glass on Drunken Clam, so he's going to be able to get a lot of damage down potentially. I think he's going to be working towards Broken Myth now. And we're seeing a little bit of aggression here. And looks like Kardashians are going to be pushing up onto this turret potentially. But it looks like they're actually going to go ahead and go rotate down into the jungle, perhaps get some items. We see a lot of them sitting at close to 1,000 gold. But no, we don't see anybody picking anything up quite yet.
We did get a clockwork out of Mixi, and that is something huge to make note of there. Not quite the Broken Myth power spike, and it actually looks like he is going to go into an Aegis before he goes into that Broken Myth. So a little bit behind on the damage there. Compared to Drunken Clam, at least, if that Broken Myth is allowed to scale up. But it is Stormy Cross working on this gold mine, and NRG is actually not pushing up. Oh, here we go. Bradley's coming in. Drunken Clam takes a lot of damage. Solar Storm absolutely threads the needle, whiffs, and now that is going to be Stormy Cross pulling off the gold mine. Half health, turns his attention onto Mixi, and Fusion is picked up. That, unfortunately, was not able to find a kill yet. Stormy Cross takes a bit of damage here, and now here we go. NRG taking Drunken Clam and Stormy Cross low, but Mixi and Archaic are low as well. Drunken Clam, beautiful use of the Shimmer Strike, gets out of that core collapse, and now it is NRG on the run again. Marto is coming, Bradley comes over the wall. Mixi still very healthy, could potentially find some good damage here. Stormy Cross so low, but Mixi, will he make it out? Just a sliver of health, I don't think he's gonna make it. He's gonna pick up at least one kill for himself though. Archaic now did come up in time that there is no ace, but this is the Kardashians turning their attention onto the gold miner. Drunken Clam gonna hold it long enough for Stormy Cross to build up some stacks and be able to heal himself off with that Spectral Smite, the passive on it. Back to half health now. They should take the ambient gold here in the back. This game has been crazy back and forth, but the Kardashians find a clean fight there, only losing out on Marto.
Yeah, they have almost a 2,000 gold lead now for the side of the Kardashians. Taking that immense gold payout really helped them, as well as winning that team fight and taking down 2 of the members of NRG. We do see that shielding, like you mentioned, or working towards the shielding for Mixi, actually. I think that's because Drunken Clam is just doing so much damage coming out of the CP interest. We see a Broken Myth, Shattered Glass online for him, as well as that Alternating Current. He's able to get off these really quick auto attacks with those ranged auto attacks because of his Divergent Paths being unlocked. And it looks like we have some more aggression up here in the lane. In goes Marto.
Yeah, and it is a little bit of damage being thrown onto Bradley. Marto gets stunned up and taken out of the fight so quickly. Archaic very low as well. The Divine Intervention comes through onto Archaic. Only 1 point in that ability so far. He is going to get deleted by the Chakram coming out of Idris. And just like that, it is NRG on the run, but Supernova is going to chunk Drunken Clam down. He does use the Flask on himself. Another Supernova comes through, damages up Stormy Cross, but he's still pretty healthy. Solar Storm comes through, Stormy Cross! Oh no! Drunken Clam comes onto Mixi now. One more basic attack might be enough. There it is, Bradley. Not going to be able to deal with the stacking Broken Myth of Drunken Clam here, but he also can't chase down Bradley underneath this turret. This is, the damage coming out of this Idris is absolutely insane. Bradley is very, very low. Marto is here. They might want to look to find Bradley if they can. War Treads are popped. Archaic gets stunned up. Drunken Clam gets healed. That is a fountain use out of Marto, though. Will Drunken Clam be able to find anything off of it? Archaic. Oh, no! Archaic gets destroyed. Rose Offensive right in the path of that Chakram. Gets hit by both passes and takes literally from like 80% health to nothing. That, you know, the Crystal Idris damage is so intense. 4 offensive items, able to use your mobility for your own defense. Looking like a really good pick for the Kardashians here. 8-8. We have a 3,000 gold lead for the side of the Kardashians. Almost 4,000. 1-1 on the turrets, though, and no Kraken on the board yet.
if there was any time for NRG to be prioritizing shielding, now is the time. I still don't think they're going to be able to outmaneuver this Idris. All he needs to do is just click on you. Those auto attacks are going to find their way, throw out a chakram, do a little bit of the shroud stepping to get the chakram dance going on. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, especially in the jungle where we don't see very much vision for the side of NRG.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Kardashians right now. Mixie takes a lot of damage from Hell's Heart, actually does not land from Stormycross, but they're now turning their attention onto Mixie. Drunken Clam looking to get the damage down here. Divine Intervention comes out on Mixie. Chakram does miss. Stormycross now taking a lot of damage. Afterburn defensively comes out of Marto for some repositioning. That is now another turret going down for the Kardashians. And Mixie going to take this opportunity to recall, probably get that Broken Myth online. There it is right there. So that is a pretty big spike here for the Celeste. If she's allowed to live long enough to stack that up, she can delete an entire team in a matter of seconds.
We have seen tonight, Denominated, that if Celeste, and there goes that Crystal Sentry, 2 lives remaining going over to the Kardashians, but if Celeste does get her her ultimate off, that Solar Storm is going to be able to delete a lot of these members of the Kardashians. We saw earlier when we had Stormycross waiting in one of those bushes that he just got annihilated by it. But it looks like they're working on this Kraken now, and it's going down pretty quick.
Yeah, Crystal Idris is incredibly good at taking those objectives, especially the Kraken. He does not move out of the, or she does not move out of the way, but oh, the Solar Storm comes through a little too early.
Good body block.
That is not good for Mixie there. The body block definitely reduced some of the damage as those outer stars do collide. They don't pass through, so you know, good save from the Kardashians there. Now with only 3 turrets that stand between them and a victory, with Kraken marching down the lane, this very well could be a Kardashian game over NRG.
It very well could be, and is it just me, Denominator, or is tonight like the night of upsets? These higher-seeded teams are just like, they look like they're playing good at the early game, but once it gets to mid and late game, we're having these lower-seeded teams just taking the game from them. And there goes the Crystal Sentry. 1 life remaining, and we're having this choke point turret siege.
Yeah, choke point turret dropping very quickly, and I'm not sure if it's the upsets. I think it's this Idris is so difficult to deal with. Drunken Clam getting a lot of damage down, but Marto is also forced very low himself. He's held onto that fountain, so he has it for Stormycross or Drunken Clam. But Bradley has a Divine Intervention and a fountain available. There we go. The Celeste damage is coming through. Marto does get dropped down here, but Drunken Clam finding a huge amount of damage onto Mixie. Not quite enough to find the kill as that Divine Intervention and Fountain come through. That is now going to be the Kardashians backing out of this fight. Oh no, it's actually Drunken Clam looking to continue the fight. Oh. 1 more attack would take down Bradley, but Drunken Clam's gone in really far onto Mixie and Archaic. Did he go too far? I think you just need to get out if you're Drunken Clam. Oh my goodness, the Chakram does find Mixie though. 9-9, 1 more turret for the side of NRG. And now Stormycross might even look to turn his attention onto Archaic here. Kroll should win a half-health 1v1 against a Blackfeather, but now that Bradley's here, it is a little bit difficult. Oh, the good Rose offensive over the wall is going to get Archaic out. And now with the Crystal Sentry here, Stormycross is running, but Drunken Clam is not done. He picks up the Treant and is now looking to find a kill onto Bradley. Not quite enough, but they are going to get that Crystal Sentry eliminated. And Archaic and Bradley are just too hurt to deal with the healthy members of the Kardashians.
You're right, Denominator. This CP Idris is just unstoppable. Look at that. He's got 4 tier 3 items built. He's got Eve of Harvest. He's got Shatterglass, Broken Myth, Alternating Current. These team fights are lasting so long. When he throws out those chakrams, he's able to stack up so much damage, and he just keeps doing so. This is going to be a really, really good team fight coming up right now. And in goes Marto.
Yeah, in goes Marto, stunning up Archaic. Mixie gets a good stun onto Marto, though, building up those Broken Myth stacks. Drunken Clam doesn't have any, but he's finding some onto Archaic right now. Mixie getting deleted as well. Divine Intervention, not quite enough. Archaic is going to drop, and now it is just Bradley, and I don't even think he's going to try to hold them off, even if he were to perform some miraculous escape there. Only 1 turret stands between the Kardashians and a victory, and it is not going to stand much longer. Sean Ostino, the Kardashians, as much as I don't want to say it, take down NRG in game number 1.
I, myself, hate the name Kardashians and the TV show and everything that goes on with them, but these Kardashians I am falling in love with these guys here. Really well played coming out of them. The game was even from early and to mid, but then once mid game hit, we had them just shove everything across the other side of the lane, and the Kardashians take it over NRG. Really well played by them, and I'm excited for game number 2 coming up.
Yeah, as we get ready to get into game number 2, I do want to make note of the huge names on these teams. Obviously, Mixi, one of the VIPL winners back in his day for Ardent, right before he got acquired by TSM, now playing for NRG. And Marto was on Liberation X to win that first live championship for North America. So, huge names on these teams. But this time around, it is the Kardashians that come out on top. So we'll be heading over to the desk with Dragonborn to recap that exciting game and get us ready for game number 2.
At this point, it seems like week number 2, it is all about this CP Idris. We've seen it in every single game. At what point, Denominate, do teams start banning it? I have to imagine NRG comes in the next game with the serious intent to take Idris out of the game.
I definitely think taking Idris out of the game is one choice. He is incredibly powerful. I do think there are picks that can deal with him. Celeste can be one of them, but when you have a Glaive paired up with that CP Idris, it does make it very easy to reposition Celeste into a very bad position, and that's what we saw happen quite a bit in that last game. And, you know, I do think considering banning the CP Idris is something that you might have to consider if you are NRG here. Obviously, we saw Fox fall today. I don't think NRG wants to follow suit.
I mean, if a 1 seed and a 4 seed to fall here in the second week to these lower seed teams, it would be unprecedented to see both of these teams in one group drop like this. And it would be all on the backs of Idris, so you have to imagine that's what you're going to do. We actually are jumping into the draft, so let's get right into it, guys, as we don't want to miss the action. And Kardashians, they are going to start with the Glaive ban. Now, they got first pick, so if NRG does not ban the Idris here, which it looks like they're going to do, that would probably be the Kardashians picking that up very quickly. And I actually think it's the right pick. Banning Catherine, I don't think is a priority. I think that you can deal with the Catherine with a Grace pick. You could go with Finn. We saw a lot of Finn prioritization last week. We're seeing none of it this week.
No, we are seeing a lot of that prioritization on Idris. That is going to allow the Catherine to go through now. Grace is available. Lance is available. And obviously we have the Finn available. Those 3 heroes are actually pretty decent into Catherine, as they can hinder her ability to make a stun onto your backline heroes. Does look like NRG chooses the Grace. That double divine intervention is obviously nothing you can take lightly.
No, Grace is still so impactful in these games, and even with the nerfs to Echo Ed to her kit, they, not major enough, and she really just, again, it's her initiation, it's her ability to pull off a lot of those stuns. It's so powerful. Now, granted, what we saw, when you have an Idris, it pretty much doesn't even matter. Energy's going to pick up the Cruel here, and I like this pick, but it's a little risky because now the Kardashians have 2 picks to think about how they want to deal with it.
Yeah, they do, and it looks like the Kestrel might be one of the answers they're looking for. Interested to see if it does go that Weapon Kestrel in the lane or the Crystal Kestrel into the jungle. That's one of the nice things about this hero, is it is very flexible. It is likely going to be Drunken Clam picking up that Kestrel in the lane. Stormy Cross going to be on the Samuel in the jungle. And now this is a difficult choice for NRG here. I almost think you go with the Vox for Mixi in this sense. You go ahead and go the double weapon. Does so much brunt damage, but it is a Scarf instead. And Catherine is very good into Scarf. We have several stuns actually on the side of the Kardashians. We obviously have that Merciless Pursuit. We have the Oblivion, and if Drunken Clam, obviously going the weapon route, can put down an active camo in the middle of combat, can stun up that Scarf during the Dragon's Breath, and I would like to see something a little bit more mobile that can avoid some of this directional damage that comes out of the Siege composition.
Well, I really like the Scarf because I think that Cruel has become such a dominant weapon jungler that he could be a great frontline, so having that Crystal lane's great. And there's nothing more strong late game. When Idris is off the board, there's nothing that has the power late game that Scarf has, so I think it's a great pick. We're actually getting into the game, though, so I'm going to kick it over to our casters, Denominate and Sean Ostino to get us into all the action. Guys, take it away.
All right, getting into game number 2 here, Sean. It would be really interesting to see another upset come through here on the big orgs that are here in the Challenger Series. Obviously, they will have a chance to fight their way back through the losers bracket, but Bradley coming in aggressive here on the Kardashians, out damaging Marto a bit here, maybe looking to steal some farm away, but Stormy Cross is turning his attention this way as him and Drunken Clam cleaned up the backs very, very quickly, and Marto wasting no time building up those stacks, already has 2 ready to go, and now it is NRG starting up this Elder Treant. Will the Kardashians make an attempt to steal it here? Oh my sweet Jesus! Stormy Cross with the corrupted genius comes through, steals it with a basic attack, and that feels bad for NRG. You are not happy if you were NRG with 3 members on the Treant and a basic attack from a Samuel comes through and reaps your rewards.
Feels
oh
bad.
My Stormy Cross.
What were the odds of that happening? Pretty low, I would take it. But there's a little bit of action up here in lane. Marto, you did mention his Captain of the Guard stacks are at 3 now. So 3 at 1.5 minutes feels pretty good, man. If he can just keep getting tanky as this game goes on, that's going to make him nigh impossible to kill. And we're just going to have Catherine as well. Catherine's going to be one of the pivotal heroes in this matchup. And just like that, stunning up Mixi whenever, of course, Mixi's got Dragon's Breath on this Scarf. And to just keep that Scarf immobile. As we know, Scarf is one of the lesser mobile heroes that we have here in Vainglory. I'd like to see Stormy Cross do some pretty good plays like he did there with that Elder Treant. And it looks like they're working on it again.
Yeah, they're working on it again. Can Stormy Cross take it again? And he does! 2 steals now for this guy, and he might even make it out safely to tell the tale. Archaic's going to get a little bit of barrier there, but he's super low. The healing flask is popped out of him already. This is looking good for the Kardashians already. Oh, he didn't quite find Archaic in the bush there, but now it is Mixi on the run. Ooh. Will he be able to get out? Stormy Cross is running out of energy, but he might have just enough to find first blood. And Stormy Cross is making the plays here. Make that 2 kills. Stormy Cross now looking to take the jungle, and Kroll is looking to find his way in the back, but he's so low. Drunken Clam and Marto will be able to chase him down if they choose to. The Vision does scout him out. He is going to take this opportunity to get out instead. Stormy has literally been making amazing plays right now.
No, Archaic's actually going really low. He's not getting out. He is trapped in a bad place, and down he goes.
Yeah, that's a 3rd kill now going over to the side of the Kardashians. This one cleaned up by Captain Marto. 6 stacks now on that Captain of the Guard, as this siege composition doesn't quite have the siege capabilities yet, but as we get the Frostburn online for Stormy Cross and the very likely going to be a Sorrow Blade coming out of Drunken Clam first is what I would expect on a Kestrel, they can really start to ramp up a lot of damage on the objectives.
Yeah, we're seeing some early net worth advantage here. We're about 1,500 in favor of the Kardashians, and this is what they're going to need, especially with this siege composition. We need them. We need this Kestrel to get online early with these weapon items, so that she can just really pump out those glimmer shots and do tons of damage with them. Stormy Cross, he's doing what I expect him to do. One of the win conditions here is they have to keep kiting. They got to keep Stormy Cross alive, keep kiting, keep the Kestrel alive, and Captain Marto, as you put it, is going to have to do a lot of body blocking for them, just like that.
Yeah, and Catherine is very good at standing on that front line, specifically into a Scarf. And, you know, Scarf does have quite a bit of siege potential himself. This is going to come down to Archaic getting to a point in the game that he can lock down either Drunken Clam or Stormy Cross and allow Mixi to ramp up in the fights. And that is no easy task, as Kroll is going to be taking a lot of damage to the face from those glimmer shots, from those empowered malice and verdicts. And, you know, that's really the danger of this Kroll into a siege composition. And, you know, again, not quite at the full siege capability of this team, but as Drunken Clam gets his Sorrow Blade, and then if we run anything like EA, there might be a couple early infusions picked up as well, and just try to push down a early turret and take a big advantage in the early game.
We do see a Frostburn picked up for Mixi, so that's a power spike right there. It's going to allow him to kite a little bit better. There goes a stun on Marto, another Captain of the Guard stack. But once Archaic... I want to see Archaic pick up a Shiver Steel. If he's able to pick up a Shiver Steel, get some ganks from the bush with those Shadows Empowered Me perk, then... Oh, here comes an Oblivion! Fast asleep goes Mixi.
Yeah, Mixi is forced back, and now here is that siege damage potential that we were talking about. You know, without Archaic here, this turret is likely going to drop just the sheer damage they have. Oh my god, active camo is dropped on Stormy Cross! That might help him get out. There comes the Dragon's Breath. Stormy Cross is going to drop, and now with that Dragon's Breath turned on to Drunken Clam, he's taking a lot of damage. Tension Bow proc, active camo comes out to save his life, but he is very, very low now. And Mixi could even look to potentially push down some damage on this turret himself. Scarf, obviously so good at pushing objectives. The goop is out. Here comes Archaic. The burning goop is now down, and that is a turret trade back over into the favor of NRG. So overall, not looking too bad. They are still down 2 kills and about 1,800 gold. Make that about 2,000 gold now. But definitely still can come back. Obviously, this Scarf does have a abysmally higher win rate the longer and longer this game goes on, Sean.
Yeah, Scarf is one of those late game heroes. If you let Scarf get to late game with the 3 damage items on him at least, he's going to do a lot of work. I expect him to be working towards that Eve of Harvest next. He's got the Void Battery there and the Heavy Prism as well. Once that comes out, then we're going to see Mixi be able to sustain really well with that energy regen and also the lifesteal as well. We do see Archaic working towards some more armor. It's got that reflex block as well, but I'd like to see some reflex blocks actually coming out for the side of Kardashians as well, because these from Hell's Hearts are really landing and taking some of the members of Kardashians out of commission for a bit.
Yeah, they definitely do, and you know, Drunken Clam really put a good active camo down and helped stun up Archaic for a little bit, but it wasn't quite long enough. One shot, one kill. That didn't look like a hit to me, but I guess Archaic does get clipped by that one shot, one kill. Now Stormy Cross takes a Spitfire and a goop, chunks him down to half health very quickly. Couple Malice and Verdicts, though, bring Mixi down dangerously low, and now NRG has to be very careful. They do have the Fountain, they do have the Divine Intervention, but the Fountain is also available for Marto. Archaic, actually, Mixi is going to get that Treant. Eve of Harvest online for Scarf. If he gets some poke down, he can heal up, but with the Sorrow Blade and the Tyrant's Monocle complete on Drunken Clam, he's going to put out a world of pain with these Glimmer Shots. Kroll is committing into some early armor here, so that is something to make note of, but Drunken Clam has to be very, very careful here. From Hell's Heart does land! Spitfire follows through, Tension Bow proc comes through, and Spectral Smite is going to clean that one up, and now Stormy Cross outside of the Drifting Dark does not have the damage he needs to bring down a Kroll and a Grace, let alone find damage onto the Scarf in the back line. Unless if Mixi puts his own face out there, but the Fountain comes out. Now Archaic's coming in. Divine Intervention down. Archaic finds another kill with the Spectral Smite. That is another turret now for NRG off the back of this ace. And Drunken Clam will be here to clean up some of this wave. But overall, we've got some signs of life coming out of NRG here. They do not want to fall like Echo Fox did in a pretty sizable upset. So definitely going to try to turn their attention on the gold mine here and get a little bit of additional gold payout through. Will Marto be able to make a steal? He does! This Kardashian team is all about the steals. The Elder Treants, the gold mines. Maybe we'll get to see a Kraken steal come out of them too.
That would be so fascinating. I would love to see that denominate. Proof of life indeed coming out of NRG. They're not, you know, they were down, but they're not counted out yet, man. They're just these from Hell's Hearts. They're doing so much work, I feel. And then we see 3 kills on Archaic already. Mixi got himself a kill with that Dragon's Breath on the Captain Marto earlier, just a few minutes ago. But yeah, it's looking really good. We do see a gold lead slightly for about 2,000 for the side of the Kardashians, but looks like they're going to start to aggress a little bit here in lane, and they're not giving up.
Yeah, they need to use the siege potential as much as they can to try to get some of these objectives down. That's what this composition is good at. Unfortunately, we didn't see the early infusions come out of Drunken Clam and Stormy Cross, so a little bit of a misplay there. Those infusions do pay out when you do find the kills with this composition, which are very easy to come across. Especially if you get a turret down as well. So we still have a little bit of a gold lead for the Kardashians because they've been stealing gold so effectively every chance they get. But overall, it hasn't. It's been pretty back and forth as far as the fights go. One kill up. Archaic does have From Hell's Heart available. Silence does get blocked by Bradley. Stormy Cross going to take a bit of damage from that Spitfire. From Hell's Heart comes through, and now Archaic's going to get a chance to get onto Stormy Cross. Oblivion is down. Oh, the late reflex block. Archaic's going to get locked up. But the Dragon's Breath now coming through onto Stormy Cross and onto Drunken Clam. I don't think they're going to make it out of here safely. Now Marto's the only one alive, and that's a clean ace going to NRG. Crystal Sentry going to drop, and with that ace wave pushing up, there is a opportunity for Scarf to try to clean up some of the wave here and keep the side of the Kardashians behind their turret, trying to protect it. As they are now coming on the board. Broken Myth available for Stormy Cross, and the second Monocle now available for Drunken Clam. They are going to have a lot of damage, but they are very squishy when Curl gets onto the back line.
They are super squishy, and that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have this Cruel getting onto the back line. You can't have Drunken Clam and Stormy Cross in the front. You've got to have Marto there, and there goes the gold over to the side of the NRG, and they're just going to continue to aggress here, but they're backing up.
Yeah, they are backing up as Bradley is very, very low. That fountain is not available for another 10 seconds, and that is something that we have to take into consideration. Divine Intervention is online, though. From Hell's Heart lands onto Marto. Dragon's Fire comes through. There's no stun to stop it now. Archaic is very, very low. Stormy Cross is getting a massive amount of damage in. The Oblivion does get blocked, though, and now it is Kroll onto Stormy Cross, and I don't think Drunken Clam can do anything to get out of here if Mixie lands one more spit. Oh, Mixie comes a little bit too close. Archaic is going to get hit by a Scout Trap there. One shot, one kill is going to find a wild Archaic. And Drunken Clam comes through, and the team needs him the most. Echo now online for Bradley, and this is a scary situation for the side of the Kardashians to be in. They really needed to be ahead objective-wise in the early and mid-game. Now that we're getting to that late-game point, Mixie almost has that Broken Myth complete. Just short of a miracle fight where Drunken Clam finds some good glimmer shots onto Mixie, this is going to be a easier and easier win condition for the side of NRG to fill as this game goes on.
Yeah, I feel like it is going to be an easier win condition for NRG, and they just need to protect this Scarf. If you look at that, we have almost half. Well, it's actually split pretty well between Archaic and Mixie. We see Archaic continuing to dive, and well, Marto is trying to dive in on NRG.
He is trying to, and Marto is taking a lot of damage. The Dragon's Breath is now coming through, and without a reliable stun, there we go. A good Glimmer Shot comes through. Mixie goes a little bit too far. That's not where you want to be. When those Glimmer Shots come through, it is a world of pain. And now Archaic's onto Stormy Cross. I don't know if there's anything that Archaic's going to be able to do now alone. Drunken Clam does so much raw damage, working into a fourth offensive critical item.
Oh my goodness.
This is now the Kardashians finding good damage onto this turret. And From Hell's Heart is down, so Archaic has to be very, very careful here. Drunken Clam gonna miss with that one shot, one kill. Overall, this game has been crazy back and forth. Mixie has to be way more careful on this Scarf. You cannot be on the front line against a weapon Kestrel that is going 4 offensive items. Now as a Spitfire lands, Silence comes through. Mixie is so low, From Hell's Heart is gonna save him for a second, not quite enough. And now Drunken Clam, will you be able to find another Archaic kill? It's not looking like it as that Divine Intervention comes through. No energy for a active camo, but it doesn't matter. He does so much damage. The stun from Marto is going to help force Bradley back. And that is just Drunken Clam turning around. Tornado Triggers online. They turn a fight around. Mixie on this Scarf playing way too forward. His cost energy the past 2 fights. And now that is another objective going over to the Kardashians as that turret takes a bit of damage. Not too much. Mixie should be able to hold it off. But
Did
now
he
the
just get
Kraken.
hit? Mixie
Yeah,
got hit by the
Mixie.
one shot.
He moved in front of it to block the damage getting onto the turret, is what it looked like. This has been a crazy game so far, Sean.
It has been crazy. It's 15 minutes in. We got the Kraken out. 35,000 gold to 30,000 gold. The Kardashians in the lead here, and it's been back and forth so much the mid game, but now the late game is starting to be turned around to the favor of the Kardashians, I feel. If Mixie continues to play ahead like he's been playing, getting too far forward. Oh, and there comes out another Hell's Heart, stunning up Captain Marto.
Yeah, stuns up Marto. That's not the target you want it to land on. But fortunately, Mixie was standing behind Bradley that time, so there wasn't anything the Kardashians can do to change the fight. Now Drunken Clam is finding a couple glimmer shots over the wall, chunking Bradley out. But now Archaic's on the back line. He's going to get stunned up by this active camo. Archaic, you don't need to be going in without your captain. A fountain comes through, but that is a dead Krull. And now Scarf and Bradley are running. Stormy Cross takes a Spitfire. Marto comes through with a stun. Mixie gets healed up by the Divine Intervention. Echo is popped by Bradley. But, you know, with this Kraken on the board, Mixie has to be so very careful. Marto is going to barely survive. And now Stormy Cross and Drunken Clam looking to find a Bradley. They find some damage onto Mixie. One more hit'll do it. Stormy Cross is going to find the ace, and that's going to be the Kardashians now starting up the Kraken. They've just been getting way too separated. And, you know, Archaic was dropped, and then they stayed a little too far forward, and they got chased down away from their base. And, you know, with the pushing power that the Kardashians have here, there is a lot of potential that, you know, this could potentially be a game. If they find one kill early on, then they're going to have the power to push through all of these turrets with the Kraken.
This is a nightmare scenario for NRG. The Kardashians gaining control of the Kraken at 17 minutes in, 3 turrets down. This is a siege composition. They don't have to get into that choke point. They can just rain glimmer shots and Malice and Verdicts from the back as long as they're empowered with that Drifting Dark. We just need to have them kite. If they just keep kiting, Mixie just keeps coming in like he is right there. There goes the Sentry, down to 1 life. This is going to be game for the Kardashians.
It definitely could be if Mixie keeps getting in the front there. We saw 1 Glimmer Shot brought him down to almost half health. Drunken Clan comes in and tries to find some damage, not quite onto the right target, but Bradley is very low here. Stun comes out of Marto. I would have liked to see him hold that for the Dragon's Breath. The silence does get blocked up. Archaic now taking a bit of damage himself. Kraken working on this turret. Oh, From Hell's Heart comes through. It does not get blocked. Archaic is now onto Drunken Clam. Dragon's Fire comes out. Now the attention is turned onto Stormy Cross, and that is likely going to be a kill for NRG. Deadsman Rush is coming up, but this Kraken is still working away on this turret. And now Marto, they really should just let him go and take this turret down, but they might be looking to find an ace as Marto is very low on energy here. From Hell's Heart not going to be available for Krull for a while, but the boots are. Will he be able to find a kill? Oh, Marto with a sliver of health is going to make it out. From Hell's Heart down for 10 seconds. The boots are available for Archaic, but will it be up in time? The bubble is ready. Marto, oh my goodness. And Archaic, so much time chasing a Catherine across the map. Could have instead saved his turret a couple hits from that Kraken. That was a lot of time wasted. Marto gets out alive. That is not the situation you want to be if you are NRG. Now there's only a half turret remaining for you, less than a half turret remaining, and a Slumbering Husk actually gets picked up for Archaic here. From Hell's Heart comes through onto Stormy Cross. Dragon's Fire is wound up. He gets taken off the map so early. Mixie with the sweatiest reflex block blocks the root from the Treant, and that is another kill now onto Marto. Mixie too far on the front line, taking some glimmer shots. Now Archaic, they find him. Drunken Clam getting taken so low, and just like that, it's a turnaround ace for NRG. And they, with 22 seconds on the board before Stormy Cross is up, NRG could look to get a turret here. I don't think they're going to be able to push for much more. Kraken is not on the board. We, you know, the only fights the Kardashians are losing right now is when they get separated, because of just how far forward Mixie's been playing on this Scarf. When they stay together, they're able to burst him down very quickly, but when Stormy Cross gets separated from Drunken Clam, he just doesn't have the 1v3 damage against a Scarf that he needs. And, you know, just like that, this is NRG back in this game. Kraken's now back online. They choose not to go for it yet, though. They want to get a little bit of vision down here from Bradley. Flare comes through from Marto. He knows they're there, but just, it'd be too risky for NRG to start it up at this point, but they could look for another fight here, Sean.
Yeah, they could look for another fight. There's so much damage coming out of this Kestrel. Even though she's only got 5 kills to her name, Drunken Clam doing a lot of work with this Sorrow Blade, Double Tyrant's Monocle, Tornado Trigger Kestrel. We have a lot of flares being picked up by Captain Marto. And I feel like they're going to be going in for a team fight right here. Mixi's low.
Mixi's low, and Bradley is taking a bit of damage himself. Divine Intervention comes through. It is going to heal him back up. And now it is Drunken Clam on the run. Oh, Mixi gets caught by a couple glimmers. And now Archaic is on to Drunken Clam. Blocks up the stun. Dragon's Breath comes through and is going to take him down. Stormy Cross now is on the run himself. He does get dropped by Archaic, and just like that, there is now an NRG that is looking to start up this Kraken. Archaic should be able to heal himself pretty well. But they're pulling off of it, and I'm not sure why. Maybe just... maybe feeling that the profit steals coming out of Marto, it's not worth trying to take the Kraken. I don't know. They might just be looking to push the win. There's only about 14 seconds for Drunken Clam here. He will be back on the board here very shortly, and we've seen the amount of damage that he can do when he is available. So I really would have liked to just see NRG push that Kraken down and then go for the win. Instead, now they're going to be running away from this base as the full health members of the Kardashians are now up. This is an interesting call out of NRG. I'm not sure I'm in love with it. The War Treads get wasted. The one-shot, one-kill gets wasted. And now NRG is looking at a little bit more comfortable of a spot with those cooldowns burnt.
This is a dangerous game that NRG is playing right now. I don't see why not go for the Kraken. Sure, Marto was there, but he was in the base. So there's not too much that this captain can do up against 3 members of NRG. I feel like they just should have went for the Kraken, and that way they could have secured the win. But they took the chance, and now we have another team fight.
Yeah, I mean, even if Kroll would have just stayed to get the Kraken, it would have been good. There is some damage exchanged here. Stormcross taking a lot. The Dragon's Breath is wound up. Mixi is looking to find Drunken Clam. He's not going to find him, and now Mixi is in a bad spot. Bradley is going to come in with the Divine Intervention, heal him up, but now Bradley might get blown up by some Glimmer shots as well. He's going to fountain himself, and now Marto has allowed Mixi to make it to 9 broken myth stacks, and Drunken Clam is now making a desperation attempt into the base here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to pull this one off. It's super risky, but with Samuel barely making it out from Archaic here, everybody's in a pretty risky spot here. Kroll is going to go ahead and recall, and now Drunken Clam in probably the worst spot you can be right now on a Kestrel. And, oh, the stun gets blocked up by Archaic. That is now another kill going on to Drunken Clam. 55 seconds until Clam is back on the board. This should be NRG looking for a Kraken here, as Stormy Cross is the only one alive. And obviously, if he shows his face, Kroll and Grace able to turn their attention onto him very, very quickly, would be able to make short work of him. And NRG is going to do that. They're going to turn their attention onto the Kraken and look for one final push, as the War Treads are now out from Drunken Clam.
Yeah, they're not going to make the same mistake twice to dominate. They're taking down this Kraken so fast. We already know that Scarf and Cruel can easily take it. Cruel is going to tank it up, and there it goes over to the side of NRG. Just some really questionable plays coming out of both teams here. Drunken Clam, there's no way he can 1v3 the members of NRG in a situation like that in their base. If anything, I would have preferred that he turn his attention onto someone other than the captain. He was going against Bradley in that last team fight, throwing out some auto attacks. Not a good call. Maybe even just using his active camo and just egressing, getting out of the base would have been probably a better call. But anyway, here we go with the choke point turret, the choke point battle, and we're gonna see what happens here.
Yeah, if Kardashians are able to find a fight here, they could definitely still win this game. Archaic's taking a lot of damage. The Husk is already popped. Kroll is so low. Bradley not even in a position that he can use the Divine Intervention. Archaic turns his attention around. They find Samuel. Drunken Clam finding damage on the Mixi. And this should be the Kardashians able to push through now. if Marto is able to go and stop Archaic, he's not even gonna. I don't know about this call. This Kestrel does so much damage. They could have just literally pushed into the base, and now they are literally forcing another fight that they didn't need to. All Marto had to do was keep Kroll on the run. He was so low health. They could have pincered him or even just allowed Drunken Cram to push that turret, which I'm actually not sure why he didn't do that when he was messing around in the base earlier. It looked like he was going for a backdoor. The minions spotted him out, and then Bradley and Mixie turned their attention to him. And then instead of getting to like 2 glimmer shots it would have taken to take down that incredibly hurt turret, since he was going to die anyway, he tried to dance around the fight, tried to find a kill, wasn't able to do so. And Mixie actually has a double broken myth online at this point, and it looks like Stormy Cross is building into the same direction. He has that extra piercing shard available now.
This is an absolute, this is a brawl right here. Every member of both of these teams are just getting in each other's faces, and they're fighting in these such close quarters where we see a lot of abilities coming down. And it's kind of like a Russian roulette to see who's going to come out on the other side, Denominate. But I really feel like the Kardashians shouldn't have recalled. They should have had Marto keeping the Cruel busy, and they should have went for the last turret in the main prison. But here's another fight.
Yeah, and this next fight breaking out, Marto is very, very low already. That's not where you want to be. The silence comes through this time, though, and now Archaic, with no husk available to him, is taking a lot of damage. Divine Intervention comes through. Mixie is very hurt as well. Stormy Cross looking to find some more damage in here, but Archaic comes through trying to find anything for his team. Bradley and Mixie get annihilated. 1-shot, 1 kill, misses Archaic, and that looks to be the Kardashians taking down NRG in 2-0 fashion, 17-21, 27 minutes into this game. There is no way, shape, or form NRG should win this. If Archaic somehow pulls off a stop, they win. They win Vainglory. That's what they do.
The way you win Vainglory is you shatter the Vain Denominator. You gotta get in there and hit that Vain Crystal. Kardashians, they finally made a good call here, and they took it out. 3 members of their team marching into the base. Cruel was totally unable to stop them. It was a game of throws here, just throwing these team fights back and forth. And finally, Kardashians come out on top. I gotta say again, I'm in love with the Kardashians, Denominate.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. You're hurting me. But that is a 2-0 victory for the Kardashians. The second upset of the night. We watched Echo Fox drop earlier to Vision Gaming, a 1 seed versus a 9 seed, and now that is the Kardashians, the 12 seed, taking out I think the number 3 or the 4 seed of NRJ. I think it's the 4 seed. But you know, to help us recap that game and get us ready for the last series of the night, we'll be heading over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Thank you guys so much. As you mentioned, another massive upset in the winners bracket. This is probably the biggest upsets we've seen on this side of the bracket in group stages in some time, just because it's been complete. We've seen it, and officially Vision Gaming, which I think we can agree is a very strong roster, so it's not a massive change or a massive surprise to see them come in, but to see the Kardashians come in with this massive upset. I mean, again, all pro players, all guys who have been around, but just they haven't been playing at that high level for a long time, and individually they haven't really had strong runs through the winners bracket in VIS, at least here in Challengers, but that is all changed right now. Marto maybe finding some of that energy here.
Liberation X spirit coming out of Marto.
Well, at least some Kardashian spirit. I mean, he's found the Midas touch. And this is huge. This is absolutely huge. NRG and Echo Fox are both very strong orgs, and they played very well last season. And they've not shown the kind of resilience that we kind of expected from them here, at least in the winners bracket. They're not out of the tournament. They're actually going to be playing in the eliminations bracket later here in just maybe a few minutes. Echo Fox actually is going to be probably coming up next. So I have no other words other than that, you know, we've seen huge power coming out of Idris. I think a lot of teams should definitely be prioritizing Idris or banning Idris, because that was a big factor in 3 of the 4 games played so far tonight here on stream. But the Kestrel play, Drunken Clam, we haven't seen him on the stage or on stream competitively in a long time. He's really impressed, and I don't know, maybe you have more notes on him to nominate, but at least so far in VIS, he's been absolutely stellar.
Yeah, and he's really always been somebody who has played this Kestrel. I mean, ever since Kestrel came out, for quite a while there, he was that one-trick Kestrel, and it's always kind of been one of those heroes in his pocket. And it showed today. He found some pretty good fights. It was obviously, like we said, Scarf should be able to carry through that game if he's allowed to stay on the back line safely. But good use of the active camo from Drunken Clam. Finding the glimmers onto Mixi, was able to find the kills. And in a long game number 2, they are able to secure a win. And, that's what it counts down to is, that is now a guaranteed spot in the finals for them.
Exactly.
Or in the playoffs for them.
Right. Playoffs, I mean, they're going to be able to make it to that spot. I mean, I do expect Echo Fox and NRG to make playoffs as well. They're going to be dropping down the elimination round. It should be a little bit easier of a path. But these teams have just left a massive crater in their wake as they've moved through challengers. So pretty big upsets. We're going to take a quick break as we get ready for our next series. So don't go anywhere. The action continues here live at VIS.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the VIS desk as we get ready for our third and final series of the night. We, of course, will be doing a rundown of the brackets once we finish this series, get you guys all up to speed, and get you guys ready for tomorrow's matches as well. But this one's sure to be very exciting. It is going to be Echo Fox again, jumping down here to the elimination. This is the final elimination matchup for this side of the bracket, and one that, really is important for Echo Fox. Let's jump right into this matchup, Denominate. And this is interesting because this is for the first time we're seeing a 5 seed with players that I would have to say, for us that have been following VIS, myself specifically, are largely unknown.
Yeah, for the most part, there are some name changes in here that I might not go over, but...
well, that could explain why they're largely unknown.
So, high elo players, one of the actual higher elo groups of teams coming into this actual game. I think the highest was Tilt Rehab,
yes,
if I have to remember correctly. But they are going to be facing up against Echo Fox, who did drop to Vision Gaming. So obviously this is Echo Fox's last line of defense against falling out of this tournament. Obviously this matchup, it decides who goes on. So
you have to imagine Echo Fox is sitting here. They're licking their wounds, but they are definitely looking to get back up and fight. This is a very strong, very proud team, and these guys, they have been playing together for so long. I think that one of the things they probably are reflecting on is that Idris pick / maybe ban that could be coming out. They'll definitely either be maybe even prioritize Idris themselves to make sure they're not getting fooled by it again. The draft is starting to shift here. Now, we are in single ban, so it's a little bit different for these earlier rounds, and teams really have to be ready and prepared for it when they go up against some of these teams that might not have the same hero pool depth, but are very good at certain heroes.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And, one of the things is, obviously, Selena's been playing heroes that he just isn't known for. A lot of his professional success has been on heroes like the Vox, like the Kestrel, like the Ringo. And, the Celeste and Adagio just didn't really work out for them earlier. So I would like to see them give Irwin one of those powerful mages that he is known for, and then try to get Selena on something that, is a little bit more his comfort. Obviously, the Crystal Laners are making a comeback, but, definitely can still run it either way. But the Idris and the Glaive come off here early.
Yeah, so Echo Fox, man, those are some deep wounds. They take it off. I actually like this because you get, you're going to give over Grace, but you can first pick Catherine, especially if Catherine's not banned. Finesse does ban Glaive, actually, which is a fascinating ban with Catherine on the board. Picks up Lance instead of Grace, so they're saying, all right, no healers as far as supports, although this could be flexed Lance. We'll have to wait and see over the next pick what they go for, but likely going to be a support or Captain Lance for Finesse.
Yeah, definitely should be a support Lance. The Githian wall makes it very, very difficult for Catherine to get into the backline safely, as well as can provide that additional stun. You can actually stun Catherine out of a Blast Tremor if you time your ability correctly and she's close to an obstacle, any kind of terrain. So it is the Celeste picked up by Irwin, and Selena Gomez going back to his comfort. This is what I wanted to see. Irwin getting one of those mages that he was known for, and Selena going on one of those very aggressive weapon laners that he is known for. I think Fox is standing a bit better of a chance, but are we going to see a Ressa Dragonborn?
Oh my goodness, maybe not. Oh, we'll have to wait and see. He's thinking about it. Scarf would be a better Crystal Mage here in this position. Gwen, though, is the pick that comes out. Now, is this going to be a Crystal Gwen? We saw some really interesting Gwen play from Vonsi, Weapon Gwen in the jungle. But, who knows? I mean, likely now, I guess, going to be that Crystal Blackfeather. But we're not really sure. We don't know these positions that well. We're not really sure who's going where 100%. We were told earlier on that, Young Boy was the laner. So likely going to be Young Boy on this Blackfeather.
It definitely could be. We'll just have to see. It would be interesting to see a Jungle Gwen come out here. I think this falls into a scenario where we say, you are not Von C, but it is Young Boy NBA picking up 2 crystal bits, so it is very likely going to be the Jungle Crystal Blackfeather. And if Gwen ever buys items, there we go, got some weapon blades now. It is going to be a lane Gwen more than likely.
It looks like that might be the case, yeah. So we're kicking over to our casters for game number 1 of this best of 3 series. The nominee, and of course, Sean Estino, take us away.
All right, getting into our last series of the night, Sean. This is probably the most important set of games that Fox is going to play for quite some time, as Slada the God comes through and steals that Elder Treant away. What a, this is, again, this is Fox's, like, last hope, trying to get themselves through to the #1 spot. I'm not 100% sure what's on the line for Channel, but Slada steals another one away.
Wow. Yeah, that's
and
really
he's not done. He's not done. He's coming back in. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh, Slump God does get that one with the Gwen attack. But Slada looking for some young boy NBA in his life, looking for some of his CS. Will he find it? It does look like he picked up another one there.
Oh my goodness.
I think. No. And now is he going to be able to get a kill? The flask is used by young boy. Slada, the man, the myth, the legend, pushing through, stealing CS from the enemy jungle with that Dragon Blood, almost getting a kill on young boy NBA. Forcing the flask out early is absolutely huge. Now it's Selena Gomez rotating down, stealing some additional farm away, looking to get another Elder Treant for their team's pockets. I think that one's going on to Irwin there. It is, and they might even get another Treant here out of it. But young boy NBA and Do You Know are coming down. Stun chain comes through. That's a first blood onto Lance, and now young boy NBA is running towards the back of his jungle. Healing flask is not available. He did pick himself up some boots to save his life. Oh, and the EU root comes through, and that is now Slada coming through. Gets a lot of damage onto young boy. Irwin picks up some additional CS, but up in the lane, Slump God has Selena Gomez almost dead to rights. 8 seconds left on that buckshot. Will be able to make it around. He is not going to find a Selena. But, we got young boy NBA dropping here in the jungle. Slade is going to fall as well. And now Irwin very low on energy. Will he be able to find anything here? He gets a supernova down. I don't think it's going to be quite enough energy in his pocket. He can't even cast another Heliogenesis. And Gwen now rotating through the jungle. Here comes Selena, though. Slump God, you're in a bad spot, and that's a kill coming over into Selena's pocket. 3-1 for Echo Fox. 1.3k gold lead already in their pockets as Selena and Irwin share some of that ambient golden experience at the backs. And now it's Lance in a dangerous spot. That's another kill going to Selena Gomez, and very likely going to be a Ancient Treant as well, unless if young boy NBA can pull off some God steals. He is not Slada. He can't do it. And now it is Blackfeather forced out here. 70 seconds on the boots, and that's just going to result in Slada getting more CS for their side here, as him and Selena will clean it up. And Irwin actually did a good job rotating into the lane here. Now Slada's coming through. Oh, a good use of the skedaddle coming out of the Slump God, though, is going to get him out of both of those stuns as Slada comes up and minion candies the wave, trying to force it up. Oh, minion candy on both sides even. Oh, a good root comes through onto Selena. Selena gets killed by Lance. 2 kills now on the board for Finesse Gods. Will they be able to pull through this game against the almighty Foxes? Selena Gomez does have that Sorrow Blade online now. Picks up a minion candy for his pocket as well. Irwin at his backs right now. Level 4 on Celeste. Needing to get to level 8 before we have a huge spike coming out of him. Now level 5 as Do You Know is going to try to clean out some of this jungle with young boy NBA, and Irwin is making his rotation over now. So far, been a fairly back and forth game. Gold is still about 1,000 in the lead of Echo Fox. What does Finesse Gods need to do here, Sean, to pull out a victory over this #1 seed Echo Fox?
Well, I feel like, first of all, I want to say for the first 4.5 minutes of this match, it has been crazy back and forth in the jungle. So many fights in the lane, and I feel like all of that jungle stealing and invading coming out of Slada and the rest of Echo Fox has actually really, in the net worth, it really hasn't helped them too much. We have a little bit of an advantage for them, but I feel like what Finesse Gods needs to do here is Slump God needs to get He's already picked up the Sora Blade, actually, so he needs to get some burst damage going on to Echo Fox, namely onto Selena Gomez. If he's able to get that Buckshot Bonanza down, maybe chase him down with a Skedaddle, get another shot off, then we're gonna, and especially with Gwen's Heroic Perk, we're gonna be able to see Selena Gomez potentially deleted. And there's an Aces High.
Yeah, there is an Aces High. Selena Gomez is forced to use his flask to get out safely. The fountain was used by Slata as well, and it is going to be a kill actually going on to Slump God, who picked up a level 6 infusion, and you do not want to die with a level 6 infusion. Erwin now trying to chase down this poor little Lance. Will he find it? Impale out. Slata coming through with the kill. And now Young Boy NBA, the last member alive for his team, running for his life. Erwin gonna look for a steal on this Treant. If he's able to get the healing, they can continue to push. And it is a kill going over to Erwin. He's gonna get the farm. He's gonna find a little bit more farm on his way out. Actually, they might even start up the gold miner. Erwin takes a scout trap to the face. And so far, oh, Slump God finds a kill on Selena Gomez. A good rotation down from him. Has already used the Skedaddle. Erwin finds a stun, finds a Helio, and he is going to find a Buckshot to the face and a Crystal Sentry to the face as well. That is a ace, a last-second ace coming through from the Finesse Gods. And just like that, this game is back on even footing. You know, we still have a slight gold lead for the side of Fox, but that might change as Slump God is going to force this wave up here. Selena Gomez gets smacked in the face by an Aces High and a Buckshot. Slata not able to find the stun. That is going to be the Slump God making it out safely. Sorrow Blade complete on Slump God, working into that Tension Bow, going for that raw spike on that first basic attack. Sean, what do we need to see here out of Fox to avoid the annihilation that Slump God is putting onto this Kestrel?
We really need to have Fox actually chain their CC on the Slump God. And look just like that. If they don't focus Slump God, they need to be really careful about it, though, because if they get too close, then he's going to be able to kite them really well, or even dive into them if they're trying to avoid the damage. But Slump God doing a lot of damage here with these Buckshot Bonanzas, with these procs that she has on her heroic perk.
Yeah, one shot, one kill does come through and find some damage onto Young Boy MBA, but a fountain is used. They do find a kill onto Slata. Will Lance be able to make it out? Oh, they dodge out the Solar Storm. That is going to be a one-kill trade going on to the side of the Finesse Gods. And, you know, Selena Gomez, now with the Tyrant's Monocle online, getting to the point that he'll be able to duel out this Kestrel. This Gwen. He's just not at the point that he can do so yet. Tension Bow now online for Gwen. Getting some attack speed, trying to get those empowered basic attacks up a little bit more frequently through that attack speed. Definitely huge. But obviously on this Black Feather, we have to get level 8, similar to level Celeste, or it's just Celeste getting to level 8. You know, that additional range is so important for both of these junglers. But it is Celeste so far taking the advantage. Shatterglass complete for Young Boy MBA, but Erwin working into a Broken Myth to go with his Frostburn at this point. Slump God takes a Heliogenesis Supernova to the face, pops his flask. Fountain is down for 4 more seconds, and it is available for Slata. They get a stun, and now Young Boy NBA comes through. Is he going to find Selena? Nope, he's going to find Selena's Glimmer Shots to the mouth, and that is going to be Lance dropping as well. Solar Storm and one shot. Where were you? Weren't even close, but that is going to be a turret going over to Fox now, and, you know, that's starting to be a big advantage. Oh, Selena comes in! Will he find this Lump God? They trade 1 for 1. That is no ace as Young Boy NBA and Do You Know we're up and ready to go. And with Selena dropping, they are not going to have the damage with Erwin being so low on energy to get a gold mine. They're just going to have to clean out a little bit of CS and go to the, you know, return to their own jungle.
You know, that was actually more of a positioning error, excuse me, coming out of the Slump God. He was just too far forward, and that if he just stays back a little bit more, he's going to be able to kite and get a lot of damage down from his buckshots and his heroic perk. You know, I just noticed that there isn't any defensive items coming out on the side of Fox. If they want to be able to stay in these fights longer, those carries need to pick up some kind of armor, but that's not what we're going to see coming out of them.
Yeah, it's not what we're going to see, and that is another kill going on to the Slump God now. Selena Gomez is very hurt himself, but it is Irwin coming through, trying to find a Black Feather for his pocket here. Fountain is going to come out of Slata as they look to siege up this turret, and with as low as Youngboy NBA is, they're going to get a pretty decent chunk down here. Those glimmer shots ripping through. Supernova comes through, cleans it up. 11-7. 2 turrets now in advantage for the side of Fox. Selena Gomez, you're so low. Where are you? What are you doing? Why, Selena? Why would you ever go in that low on energy, that low on health? I guess take the fast trip to the shop, but take the long way getting back out. Second Monocle online, working into that tornado trigger next is very likely what we're going to see out of Selena here. Irwin has the Broken Myth available now, and Youngboy NBA looking for maybe an alternating current. I'm not sure that's what you want to go on a Black Feather this early. That's, you know, maybe a third item on Black Feather, but you really want that raw damage spike on your on points. Sean, I'm just not sure this is the right route to go, but it is Selena getting chunked out again. Oh, almost drops. Fountain wasn't available for Slata. Flask is not available for Selena either, as he's sold that item off. Almost Slump God, almost, not quite.
That's the issue here, Denominator. We're seeing the Slump God get caught out over and over again. He's out of position. He needs to rotate with Youngboy NBA, with Do You Know Why LOL. Should we shorten that name down? Let's not say the whole thing all the time. But yeah, I actually wanted to point out there was a contraption being picked up by Slata as well. So we're going to see the vision game pushed a little bit here by Echo Fox. If they can continue to keep good vision and catch the Slump God out of position over and over again, this could end up going their way. We see it's 12-8 right now in the kills, and we have about a 4,000 gold lead for the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, Slump God does miss out on a Selena there. Fountain comes through. Will they be able to follow it up? No kill going through. One shot, one kill is going to be wide. Now Youngboy NBA taking a lot of damage from Irwin. Oh, traded in the lane. Slump God and Selena just constantly trading back and forth. On point is going to land onto Irwin. Not quite going to be enough to put him in a dangerous position. Good Githian wall coming out of Do You Know is going to force Merciless Pursuit back out of Catherine. Sitting at 22 stacks right now for Slata. Contraption is online, going to help with some of that energy and cooldown. But Irwin on his third offensive item, Youngboy actually did sell his attack speed and ended up going into that Broken Myth. So I do like this out of the Black Feather here, but you know, it is going to come down to Selena and Slump are both going for 4 offensive items here. Selena Gomez a couple hundred gold short of that tornado trigger, and I think Slump God now is going to be going for a monocle himself. Huge burst going to come out of both of these carries, and another good Githian wall blocking out that Merciless Pursuit. Do you know why? LOL. Showing that he has some prowess on this lance.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Slump God gets deleted by a Glimmer Shot to the face. And now as they come through, oh, they find another kill onto Youngboy. Will they be able to find the one shot? One kill does not. It is one shot, one splash damage on the lance. And that is going to be a choke point turret now for Fox, though. This is looking good for Fox. Obviously, they do not want to drop out of challengers here going into the playoffs. So definitely a good spot for them to be in. Selena's taking a bit of damage from the Crystal Sentry. Very, very low. Not going to be ready for the next fight. Does have the gold in his pocket, though, to finish up that tornado trigger when he shops by. There it is. Monocle is complete for the Slump God. These trades between the laners is absolutely crazy. Will he be able to find anything? Slump God almost finds a double kill for himself. Not quite. And now with both the carries low for Fox, no Fountain available. Slata getting low as well. This could be Slump God taking a Solar Storm. It is not quite enough to kill him. Will Selena be able to find anything? He's going to find a Lance. Will the one? Oh, Slump God, almost. But now it is Youngboy on the chopping block. Boom! Selena Gomez with a Glimmer Shot and a basic attack off the back of some Helios from Irwin are going to find that kill. Kraken is awakened. Slate is very, very hurt. Will they be able to find anything off this? Gwen trying to be super sneaky here, staying just out of vision. Lots of vision down for Fox here. It's going to be super difficult for Gwen to make a steal, especially safely. Finds that he has been seen. Irwin turning his attention. Going to force the Slump God back as Slata and Irwin are going to look to finish up this Kraken. And now it is Slump God in a bad spot. No ace, but the Kraken buff will come through and heal up the side of Fox. And, you know, with only 2 turrets standing between them, with a Weapon Kestrel into Celeste, this very well could be game for Fox if they make a smart push here.
Boom shakalaka. Echo Fox is coming online here. 18-9 with 15 minutes in. Kraken on the leash for them. They're still going forward, though. They know they can press forward because we still have that death timer for the Slump God. If you look at Slata, he's got 30 Captain of the Guard stacks. That means he's super tanky. He doesn't even need any defense. And they're melting through these turrets even before the Kraken is at the choke point.
Yeah, and now with only 1 turret standing between them and victory, this full health Kraken is marching down the lane. Blackfeather gets deleted. Lance is soon to fall behind. And now it is just Slump God, and there is nothing he can do to stop the pain train that is Echo Fox from taking game number 1.
Really well played by Fox. They showed they didn't show hesitation. They kept the pressure up from the beginning, early game, and they just played through. They probably turtled up a little bit, they coiled up a bit, but they played it smart. We just saw Slata really helping out a lot, having the vision game down, and that prevented a Kraken steal from the Slump God and Finesse Gods. Really well played by Fox.
Yeah, really well played by Fox, but to help us break down that game and get ready to get into game number 2 of the last series we have for you guys tonight, we'll be heading over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Oh, thank you so much, Denamine and Shonestito. That was a very exciting game, a little bit closer at points. I mean, Finesse, they have some skill. There's definitely some, you know, respect that needs to be paid to them. I mean, playing with this Gwen and this Blackfeather, a very off meta for what we see at the higher tier compositions, but one that obviously they found a way to make it work a little bit. Not enough to get the win, though. I mean, Echo Fox finally gets a win. That's something I think we were expecting to say at least once earlier on in the stream, and they do so in a way that, you know, it was pretty decisive. Right? They didn't give up a lot of objectives. They played better. Need to clean up a few more things to nominate, and we could talk a little bit about that. I mean, They found themselves sometimes pushing too far into the side by themselves, not playing, like not sticking together or fighting on their terms all the time, and Finesse definitely punished them for it. As we get into game number 2, Echo Fox has to clean that up, but can Finesse find a way to put together a victory? What would they have to do to make that work, to nominate?
You know, overall, I think the actual gameplay coming out of Slump God was for the most part good as far as his farming was going. I think Young Boy NBA needed to maybe not go in, you know, just... That's one of the difficulties when you have a dive hero and a kite hero, is you have to control that tether between you and your other carry. If you Rose offensive in or Faint of Heart in, you're putting yourself in a world of danger, and when Slump God is not with you, then it is a difficult spot to be in, because obviously Blackfeather is an assassin. He is not the tankiest of heroes. And when you have a 4-item Kestrel, putting Glimmer Shots into an assassin, it's not gonna last very long. Overall, I think if they just tighten up some of their team coordination, they could stand a chance here.
Yeah, they absolutely could. We are getting word of a quick substitution that's probably going to be happening for the side of Finesse Gaming. So we will be taking a small, short break. And when we come back, game number 2 will start. As we are a little bit ahead of schedule, so one of the subs, I think there was some significant lag, at least according to one of the teammates. So we're gonna give him an opportunity to make a sub in the next few minutes here. So we'll take a quick break, everybody. But when we come back, the game number 2, which could be our last game of the series, will be right back at you.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We're looking to get into all the action here in just a few seconds as we get underway. We're actually getting into game number 2. Echo Fox, they're up 1, so let's jump right into it. Denamine, of course, you and I ready to cover the draft, and it looks like it's just about started. As we go into this, Finesse Gods, they are now on A side, and they're going to start with the captain band, Echo Fox, with the Idris band. They want nothing to do with that CP Idris, Denamine.
After earlier, I can understand why. But so Catherine and Idris are going to come off the table, which, makes sense. And it is going to give the Grace over to the side of Finesse Gods. But that's an opportunity now for a Lance or a Finn to come out of Echo Fox. They're going to go with Celeste for Irwin, I would hope. But we'll have to see how they end up playing it out. And they might even just go for the Kestrel. So looking for their comfort here.
I think this is the right play. No, this is absolutely smart for them. They're given these picks. They can absolutely win with them. And I think Finesse Gods has to think really deep about how they're going to counter these guys, because we know Selena Gomez on the Kestrel play is just going to tear you up. And late game, this composition from Echo Fox is going to be a monster.
Yeah, it absolutely can, and it is going to be a Glaive and maybe a Koshka coming out of Finesse Gods, looking for that early aggression. Instead, they do go the Scarf route.
See, now this, I really was surprised they didn't pull Scarf out in game 1. The Blackfeather, CP Blackfeather, didn't seem to sit well with me, and I thought, you know, you risk a lot. It's really, really dangerous. You don't get the same level of poke, right? The consistent poke, the building up those broken mist stacks you get from Scarf, way outpowers a Blackfeather. I think this time, with the Blackfeather pick, this is a much better draft for Finesse Gods.
Yeah, and that is a Arden locked in for the side of Fox now. So looking to you know, help the team reposition, try to trap the enemies in the kill zone. Slata going to give us a beautiful Venn diagram with the Echo Gauntlet, I would assume. But we'll have to see. Overall, I do like both of these compositions. I think just from watching game number 1, I think Echo Fox was a little bit more on the mechanical skill side, but now with Demonic Kestrel coming in, playing Scarf, not Kestrel, we'll have to see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, we do have a sub, so we're going to get into the action. Of course, the game has started, so I'll kick it over to my casters. It's Denominate and Shaunastino to get us into it.
All right, as we get into this game, interesting rotation out of the Finesse Gods here, Sean. All 3 members going straight up to the lane. Not really sure what they're looking for, but they're looking for it as a team. They're going to be late to the backs, even. They come through, and I think even Selena locked that down. I think he got it. He did, and now Selena is getting dropped dangerously low. We might get a first blood out of the Finesse Gods here. Active camo not available for Selena. Slata coming to save his life, and that is going to be Selena Gomez making it out safely because... do you know why? And Demonic Kestrel did not come through, but Selena goes in a little bit too far and gets dropped anyway. And now it is Irwin looking for a kill onto Do You Know. Not going to find it. It is going to be Demonic Kestrel coming over to hold off the enemies as the team takes this Elder Treant. They are going to be able to find it, and they're not letting the aggression up. They turn that health right around into trying to find more onto this team. Irwin is going to take a Spitfire to the face. Slata is going to steal it away with a Vanguard. And now Demonic Kestrel is getting some additional farm here for himself. Irwin, you're in a bad spot. Core Collapse is not available. And you might be one dead witch, and you are. Unfortunately, that is Irwin dropping 2 kills now up for the Finesse Gods. And, you know, that's a pretty good start in retrospect of how last game went, at least.
Actually, Denominate, I believe she is a geisha today in this skin, not a witch. But this is a very interesting map so far. We see that I really wanted to see that early aggression coming out of Finesse Gods yield a little bit more than 2 kills. Or, you know, perhaps an early ace would have been really cool. But we have an early gold lead for them as well. They are up at about 1,500, and yeah, it's interesting to see both of these comps. They actually seem to be more like protect the carry comps here, more so for Demonic Kestrel. We need to see Slump God and Do You Know just do a lot of peeling and sustain for Demonic Kestrel. But with Fox, we actually see Slata in an interesting position here. If he does get that echo, like you were talking about with those Venn diagram gauntlets coming down, I would actually also see I would like to see double Vanguards onto both Selena Gomez and Irwin as well.
Well, Selena Gomez does get engaged on a little bit by the Grace there, and you know, we definitely could see some echoed Vanguards. That is something that has been discussed before. Definitely useful, especially in the late game with how big of a barrier Arden can give. But with this skin, I think Slata is going to paint us some pretty pictures with some big purple walls, and you know, we'll have to see if he can lock somebody down into that center portion. But it is the Finesse Gods destroying the turret, finessing all over Echo Fox, finding a 3rd kill onto Selena Gomez. Irwin now in a bad spot on the enemy side of the map, running for his life, maybe trying to find some farm, isn't even going to go that route, going to just recall and try to get himself back to safety, as we now have a 2,500 gold lead for the Finesse Gods. Demonic Kestrel coming in here, doing really good work here on this Scarf. Slata, the man, the myth, the legend, though, stealing away more farm from the enemy, just like last game. No merciless pursuit needed. Gonna pop that Vanguard, get himself out to safety. Demonic Kestrel does have the Frostburn available to him already, and Irwin is trailing a little bit here as he's bought that the energy battery, trying to make sure he has energy to clean out the jungle as he goes. And Finesse Gods actually has a pretty sizable advantage here until Demonic Kestrel finds a Selena Gomez. Will he be able to make it out alive? Irwin's coming in. Core Collapse not quite going to land. And just like that, Finesse Gods is going to make it out safely. And Fox still playing a bit on the back foot here, Sean.
Yeah, they're playing a little bit on the back foot. They're down 0 to 3 kills at the moment. We don't have, aside from the Fountain of Renewal, we don't have any tier 3 items coming out just yet. It looks like Irwin is probably going to be working towards either a Frostburn or Shattered Glass. We have, oh, there's some action over here. Do you know, jumping in.
Do you know, jumping in 1v3, trying to be a nuisance, using that movement speed from Grace to get him out to safety. Irwin will very likely go for that Frostburn first item on Celeste as the popular one. And then obviously Selena Gomez is going to be looking to get that Sorrow Blade in his pocket. But
yeah, the Sorrow Blade's going to be a really good item power spike for Selena Gomez. Once he ports back to base, he's going to be able to probably, yeah, he's going to be able to pick that up in just a little bit. Oh,
Glaive comes in with a big afterburn. Selena Gomez getting absolutely wrecked by that big proc out of that afterburn and a Spitfire to the face. And just like that, the Finesse Gods could be looking for another turret here. Burning Goop is down. Spitfire is coming through. Damage is getting in, but there is no follow-up from the rest of the team. And that is going to result in just about a third of the turret's health being dropped. Boots actually used by Do You Know to get out. One shot, one kill is going to clip him, but that's the captain. Not going to do quite the damage that Selena Gomez was hoping for. Minion Candy in his pocket. Sorrow Blade complete, looking to push this wave up. Did not candy that wave, so that is important to make note of. That Minion Candy is still sitting in his pocket. And, you know, overall, Finesse God's looking a little bit better this game around.
Yeah, they're looking much better. They've really got a bit of a hold on their own jungle. Looks like they find Slata here in the mustache bush.
They are finding some damage onto Slata, but they find a lot of damage back onto Slump God, and Do You Know, Divine Intervention comes out. Selena Gomez looking for that glaive. The fountain comes through. Selena, don't get punted into a turret. Oh, do you know, just nearly misses with that, you know, being hit from that Heliogenesis there. And overall, a pretty good damage trade for the side of Fox. And they might even look to push this turret up now. Selena has used that candy on the wave. Slump God not taking very much damage from those glimmer shots as the minions were in the way. And now it is Fox has the turret pushed in, but nobody is here. They find a Demonic Kestrel, a Scarf in the jungle. They find a couple hits onto a Glaive, but it's not enough. But I don't think Glaive can stop the damage that's coming in from Fox now. He has to get out as Echo Fox returns turret for turret, finds a kill of their own, and takes that 3,000 gold lead that Finesse Gods had and turns it down to about 700. So, Sean, overall a pretty good comeback out of Fox so far.
Yeah, really good comeback out of them. We actually, yeah, they've closed the gap on that net worth. It's down to about 700, 1,000. Not too bad compared to what it was earlier. But, yeah, I feel like if they just keep sieging this turrets, which is what Celeste and Kestrel are really good at, maintaining that range and just having Slata tank up the damage as this Arden. We actually didn't get to see, oh, it looks like the Gold Miner is going to be going down.
Gold Miner is going down, but the Dragon's Breath is coming through. Oh, it gets stunned up, and that is going to be a Gold Mine going over to the side of Fox now. Grace drops. Celeste is short to follow through. Demonic Kestrel now, oh, on the run. Will Selena be able to find him? He does, but Slata's going to pay the price with his life, and now the Slump God coming through, looking for a Selena Gomez, wants him a piece of that pop star, and he should be able to find it. Slump God, a little bit late on the ace. Irwin is up, but finds the kill. 7-3 for the Finesse Gods. You know, overall dead even on the gold right now, Sean.
Wow, dead even at 9 minutes in, 7 kills to 3 in favor of the Finesse Gods. And I liked a little bit of trolliness coming out there from Selena Gomez and Slump God. Selena Gomez knew there was no way to go, so he started doing the backboard. Slump God did the same thing, cut him down in his path, you know? But I feel like we've got to have Selena Gomez and Erwin just continue to rely on Slada to back them up. We've got to have him splitting the Vanguard between them. I'd like to see some more gauntlets come down and trap that Scarf, Demonic Kestrel. We did see it happen earlier, but he was actually able to get away from them, but got melted shortly after that. Looks like there's some rotations coming up from Fox, going up here near their tier 2 turret, but Finesse God's going to go ahead and back away. I've been waiting to use Jebaited here with Finesse Gods, but they haven't given me an opportunity to. They're just really cleanly taking these turrets away from Echo Fox.
Yeah, I've got some good damage down. The gauntlet is out on Slada, separates the team. Unfortunately, Selena Gomez is not able to find the damage onto the Slump God. Divine Intervention is coming out. War Treads and the Fountain are available. Dragon's Breath being wound up, looking for it, but a good stun out of Erwin is going to cancel that ability up. Selena is going to follow through with a Glimmer Shot to Scarf. Arrows and dragons don't mix, and that is a 2-kill trade so far for Fox. They are trying to chase down Do You Know, as it is Selena Gomez here in the lane, looking to put some damage down on this turret. Should be able to find it. Holy Nova coming through, gonna stun him up, but not in time to save the turret. Will it be able to get the kill, though? Not quite. It is gonna be Selena making it out. Sentry is gonna drop. Jungle is going to fall to Fox, but will Selena be able to make it out? Erwin and Slada now getting chased down. Scarf not able to get there, but here comes Slump God, finding good damage. Does not block up the core collapse. One shot, one kill, comes through, finds a glaive. Erwin finds a Scarf. Will they find the 3-piece? That is a ace going over to Fox. And just like that, a game that was looking back and forth, Selena comes through with a clutch one-shot, one-kill that saves Erwin's life. And they find a gold mine off the back of that ace. 364 gold going into their pockets, each of their pockets. Just like that, a couple minutes ago, this was a 3,000 gold lead for the Finesse Gods. And now we're sitting almost 5,000 for Echo Fox.
Yeah, and the score is a little bit more than even up, 8-7 in favor of Echo Fox. Gauntlet comes down.
Gauntlet is down. Glimmer Shots are finding this Grace. The Divine Intervention is available, but he doesn't want to use it on himself. Fountain is used, though. Scarf forced back. Slump God, you're on the wrong side of this fight. Selena Gomez is going to come through, find a kill. Fox might be able to turn their attention onto this Crystal Sentry. Demonic Kestrel is going to come through, and oh, it is Grace finding a kill onto Selena, but it gets returned right away, and Demonic Kestrel is going to fall not shy behind. Erwin cleans up an ace. They might be able to clean up a choke point turret at 12.5 minutes. And Selena Gomez getting closer and closer to having that tornado trigger available. This could be Fox closing out a 2-0 victory if they're able to find one, maybe two more fights here, Sean.
Yes, Denominate, and that was about 2 aces in less than 2 minutes there. Really well played. This is an all-out slugfest coming here. Whenever we have these two teams meet, it's in the jungle. They're fighting in the jungle shot bushes, the tri-bushes, and it's just close quarters combat that we see coming out of them. Heliogenesis are raining down, supernovaing, and we have solar storms coming out from every which way, along with glimmer shots.
Yeah, and now it's Erwin gets caught up here, but a good Vanguard comes through, saves his life. He's back now in the fight. Fountain up for Slada in 4 seconds. Do you know? Do you know you're about to die? And that is now a dead Grace. They turn their attention onto Slump God and Demonic Kestrel. Fox is very, very healthy. The Fountain was used, but if they're able to find an ace here, we're only coming up on 14 minutes here, but will Selena be able to find this dragon on the back line? Oh no, Demonic Kestrel's gonna make it out, but Slump God is gonna fall to Erwin. So 2 kills for Fox, nothing for the Finesse Gods. Now 8-13 as it is Fox turning their attention onto this gold mine, looking to extend their lead before the Kraken is on the table. So we're just going to have to see how this one turns out. Will we see a steal? No, we won't. And now Grace is in a bad spot. And Kestrel is in a little bit of a bad spot himself. Taking a Spitfire there, drops him very, very low. And it is going to be Irwin finding the Grace down here in the jungle. Glaive picks up an infusion as he comes on the map, but it's a little late for that fight. And Fox looking really good right now.
Yeah, they're looking really good. I don't know what we saw. Do you know? And Demonic Kestrel were doing going in, trying to make something happen in that tri-bush. If you look at the map right now, Denominate, there are scout traps all over the place in the enemy jungle. Fox has vision on Finesse. There's no way Finesse gods are going to finesse their way out of this. They're not going to be sneaky. Demonic Kestrel did get out and port back a couple of minutes ago, but we just have so much aggression coming out here, and the gauntlet goes down again.
Yeah, Tornado Trigger is complete, Scarf gets deleted, Slump God gets deleted, and now it is Grace going down. 25-second death timers. Fox should be ignoring this jungle, pushing in for a win here. If they split the damage evenly or just chunk these turrets down, they should be able to clean it out. And they are going to focus down that top turret. Boom, explosion. And now it is one turret that stands between Fox and a series victory. Scarf is on the board, but it's just a little too late. Glaive is here as well, but the turret is dropping. The Glaive is dropping. Fox looking to close out this game. 18-8, 10,000 gold lead by the time it's all said and done. And Echo Fox secures their spot in the playoffs for this Challenger Series. Now, there is no challenge battles at the end of this season, but there is a, or at the end of this split, I should say, but there is a pretty sizable actual monetary reward for getting first place, as well as this will affect your seeding going into Split 2. So these are things to keep in mind as we get ready to head over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Oh, thank you so much, Denominate, and yes, this is a pretty big victory. I'm a little bit surprised how good Finesse was. They actually had incredible plays. They put some really crazy fights together, and almost pulled out some incredible incredible 2v3s or 1v2s. It was really something, and definitely hats off to them. But Echo Fox gets the 2-0 victory. I think that's really important for them. They needed that. There's a lot of morale boost that goes in, especially going into next week as playoffs will start. But let's talk a little bit about it. There's a lot on the line for the split. One, like you said, there's a sizable cash prize payout for the end of the split, which is really great for some of these teammates. But more importantly, it directly impacts your seeding going into next split, and that's a big deal because that is when you're actually going to get seeded for where you have a shot at the challenge battles, and that's what a lot of these teams are looking at. Now we're going to jump in. Let's take a look at the brackets real quick, Denominate, and take a look as we end tonight's stream. This is where we stand on the winner's side of the bracket. Vision Gaming and the Kardashians, the two teams that survive the winner's round and move on to the playoffs first. When we jump down to the elimination round, we're just getting the conclusion of these matches. Echo Fox does win out on Finesse, and we're waiting to hear the results of NRG versus Infinity Rebirth. The only upset we had from the elimination side of the bracket was Infinity Rebirth, a 16 seed beating Nova Challengers. Nova Challengers having a really rough time here, you know, going in, winning their first round matchup, but losing every single matchup after that, and you know, definitely hard for them to like lose out here this early. Definitely a proud organization who has a Vainglory A team, but still all the same, you know, got to feel a little down to not be able to make it to the next round. That being said, as soon as we get the results from NRG versus Infinity Rebirth, we'll be updating you guys for that as well. But Echo Fox, they do make it to the next round, so congratulations to them. Looking on to tomorrow, we will be getting the conclusion of Group B, as we'll be starting off with Tribe Academy, their challenger team. As you did see, Tribe recently picked up the Old Immortals roster, and they have a prominent spot in the Vainglory 8. They have, of course, a challenger team down here as well. They'll be going up against the 10 seed Tilt Rehab. Will be going up against the 11th seed Star Bombers. So if Group B is anything like Group A, there could be a lot of fireworks and possible upsets taking place tomorrow as well. You guys are not going to want to miss the action. And we'll be back here at 5 p.m. Pacific to get started off with stream, so you're not going to miss it. Make sure you tune in early, and we'll have some excitement for you, of course, starting off with a pregame show to break down the matches for you. With that, we'll see you guys all tomorrow. That is good night for us. Make sure you guys get some good rest to get ready for a lot of the action that's going to be in store for you guys starting tomorrow at 5. Till then, guys, good night.